on that the hard times praised us. From base life roots to the freeway nights, we turned small rooms into launchpad lights.
Yesterday.
Oh, that's
So I was up at Disney, or taking my daughter to Disneyland. I was on the way back, and I was thinking, this is the first time where I was gonna, because I forgot that you had got braids.
Yeah.
And I was thinking of the dreads, and I was like, damn, I'm gonna have dread envy. And this is the very first time, because I haven't had anyone.
Yeah.
I thought that, or I'm trying to think if I had anyone on that did have dreads that were longer than me, but I knew yours were longer than mine.
Yeah.
How long did you have them for?
Like, I don't know, like I just started, like, I think my mom just, like, picked that hairstyle, like, from a young age. And, like, I had it all the way up till freshman year, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
And then, yeah, I just.
Did you have them taken out, like combed out, or did you?
No, like I cut
it off.
Yeah,
okay.
I cut it off.
I had a friend that had them down to like her waist, and when she took them out, she actually combed them out.
I've seen, that's what we were trying to figure out if I should do that or not. But I think I was like, I knew that I wanted to, like, I don't think I would have gone back. So I was like, sounds too long of a process.
No way.
Yeah. So yeah, especially because I feel like I had a lot of dreadlocks. So
yeah.
I was like.
I had dread envy when I saw you as a kid. Like, when I say as a kid, like, I think of it where I think the last time that we got a chance to be able to spend even see you was, I think it was 8th grade.
Yeah, I think so too.
But
yeah, it's definitely.
you big timed me though. You know that.
Gosh,
is it because you knew you were going to USC and you were going to be able to big time, and you knew you were going to be the #1 goalkeeper?
Gosh.
You knew?
No.
Because I was driving. Seriously, like, have you ever got left hanging?
Yeah.
You know that happened. So I was driving on Avenida Encinas.
Yeah.
On the we shouldn't say all the streets because you're famous.
Right. I don't know about that.
But we were on Avenida Encinas. I was driving in the car, and you were on the sidewalk.
Oh, gosh.
And I said, hey, Josie, and you just kept going. And I was like,
was I walking, running?
Yeah, I think you were walking. And I actually high-fived myself in my own car.
Oh, my gosh.
I was just like, oh, no, that was me. And then I just moved on. I'm glad that my kids weren't there, because then they would have thought worse of their dad.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
No, I definitely had my AirPods in, for sure.
I don't know. I could see ear.
Oh, my gosh.
I could see ear, and that was a tough time.
I'm sorry. I definitely, I don't know. I don't really have any explanation, but I don't remember it. So I definitely didn't actively, choose.
If you don't remember it, did it not happen?
I think so. I think it was a dream.
We could feel that way.
Yeah.
So your mom was my son's coach very early on.
Yeah.
Mom is, you guys are the sports family.
Yeah.
Was that from the very beginning?
Yeah. I have three older brothers, obviously. So, and then 2 of them played baseball. I actually played baseball when I was younger. And then, like you said, my mom always coached, my dad too. And so, like, we just kind of, everything we did was sports. Like, we weren't at a sport. Like, we were on the corner of our neighborhood playing football, like playing basketball. Like, it was just like what we did with our free time. Like, it was just, so I think growing up around sports, like, really just like shapes, who you are. So yeah, I think it's just always been like kind of our family. What's the unfair advantage of having brothers, especially having bigger brothers, and then playing sports? Is there an advantage there? I think so, for sure. My mom used to always like tell me like keep up or blow up. And so like just they kind of, they never really treated me like, people are always like, oh, like you're the baby. Like, no, it was like never like that. Like it was just kind of like, I was another sibling. And so I think just like being surrounded by it, like I was always like, if I couldn't catch, like it was a problem. It was like an expectation that I should, be able to do all these things. So I think it's definitely like shaped me as an athlete and like helped me, just like grow and kind of just always know like there's someone not like out there better than me. It's like my brothers just always pushed me. Would they whoop on you too? Oh yeah. Like yes and no. Like in sports, like they would. We won't tell your mom. I promise you. I promise. Because were pops and mom, would they ever step in? Because I found myself with my son sometimes. With my daughter, because she's older, she would be giving him a hard time. Sometimes I would step in, but then I would think like maybe I'm doing him a disservice. Yeah, I think there wasn't really any like time where it was like a point where they needed to. Like most of our competitiveness was like at game nights or like. Kind of like there was never like outside of that. So I think like, and I don't know. They're never like, take it easy on your sister, which I think is like helped me like in the long run. So yeah, I don't think so though.
What about the competing? Because competing at an early age, I mean, when you go, I would say probably up until 5th grade, a lot of times it's co-ed, right?
Yeah.
And then you start to get to 6th, it starts to separate a little bit. 7th and 8th, it definitely separates.
Yeah.
My niece went through this where even up into 8th grade, her playing soccer, a lot of times they were playing against boys' teams and they were whooping, right? But then sometimes there's a divide part of it. Did you enjoy the co-ed part of it?
Yeah, like when I was younger, like we definitely used to play against boys more. I mean, I think it's like the fact that girls develop faster. So I think it was like we were always like bigger than the boys and stuff. So that was definitely fun when I was younger. And then COVID actually hit my 6th grade year. So yeah, that kind of like separation I didn't really see much of. You know, I kind of felt like it was everything we did was at home. So it was kind of, you could only see your own self growth. But yeah, now we play the boys. Yeah, we don't talk about that. Yeah.
How was COVID for you? I mean, you pretty much from 6th to 8th grade was wiped out, you know, because a lot of people thought it was, you know, hey, it was a year, but really for sports, everything like that, it didn't get back for 2 years.
Yeah.
Right. How'd that impact you?
Yeah, COVID was a crazy time. I think it hit like halfway through my 6th grade year. And honestly, like I personally enjoyed it. Like I think like I never really, I have like a crazy school journey, like in and out of public school and everything like that. Because I know I've always just had like one goal and I wanted to focus on that. So that really gave me the time that I needed to. And like, it was really just like myself with the ball. Like, I think, you know, I knew that's like what I wanted and everything. So it was definitely like a hard time in terms of socially, but I think like just in general, like I enjoyed it. And I think I saw like a lot of self-growth throughout that.
When did you said that you had a narrow focus.
Yeah.
You had a specific focus. When did you know that this is exactly what you wanted to do?
That's a good question. I mean,
I have good questions.
Yeah. I mean, I started playing soccer when I was like young, like 4, but I never like, I also like loved basketball. I loved baseball. Like those were also like 2 of my main sports. And so I don't know. I mean, I think like around, I'd say like middle school, like 7th, 8th grade, I really just started to like focus on it. And like it truly like, when it started to become like an outlet for me, then I kind of, you know, I just fell in love with it. Like I did love it as a kid, but it was more so like for fun, you know, but I just kind of knew like throughout middle school, I was like, okay, like if I actually work at this, like I can go somewhere with it.
When you talked about an outlet, you just said that. Tell me the difference between an outlet and, it seems like when you said it, you even, your body language shifted a little bit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Yeah. I mean, I think like there's multiple reasons why like people play sports. You know, I think it's really good for, you know, building friendships, building character. But I think like, you know, the great players, like they are really like just obsessed with the game, but it's also like, it's something that they turn to when they want to have fun. They turn to when things get hard. And I think that like once I started kind of doing that, like I just genuinely became obsessed with it. Like if I'm not doing it, like I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? I need to go juggle with the ball or like do something like that. So I think just, it's kind of hard if you haven't felt it. But I think like once everyone finds like their outlet in life, like I think it's just something that, you know, you can always turn to and something that's like always going to be there.
What was your hard that you were trying to outlet?
Wow, these questions. I mean, I think, you know, life always lifes. I think.
That's for Dee Dee. My friend Dee Dee said that to me.
Really?
She said, I called her. I said, how are you doing? She said, life is lifing.
Yeah.
And then she just went silent like I should know.
Yeah.
But, okay, so how does life for you? Or how was it lifing at that time?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously, you know, we live in a very nice area, you know, and being like a woman of color, I think there was not really anyone that looked like me. And so I think like when I was younger, I kind of struggled with my identity of, you know, why don't I have straight hair? Why don't I have this? Why don't I have that? Like, why am I not blonde? Like, I think a funny story I always think about is when I was younger, like they asked, and I was, I think like kindergarten or something, and they were
Where'd
like,
you go to kindergarten, by the way?
Kindergarten?
Did you go to Pat Graham?
Yeah, I went to Pat Graham.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so when did you graduated? Well, we'll get into that, but you graduated this last year, right? Is that, or did you graduate early?
Yeah, I graduated early. So I graduated in, I'm like trying to remember, it wasn't that long ago. I graduated halfway through my senior year in 26.
So you would have graduated in 26.
Yeah, I would have graduated.
Okay,
this
got
summer.
it.
Yeah.
So we were there. Well, I mean, what? So kindergarten and first grade, were you at Pat Graham?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we were there. We were there during that time because McKenna is 1 year younger than you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So you're in kindergarten, and
and they were like,
and you were to put it in perspective, you were one of one.
Right.
You were one of one.
Exactly.
I mean, I used to volunteer there all the time.
Yeah.
And so go ahead.
Yeah. And so like they were like, draw a picture of what you think you're gonna look like when you grow up, and I drew a picture of a blonde girl with blue eyes. Yeah. It's really bad, but that was just like all that was around me, you know, like that's what my mom's looks like, that, you know, that's just everything that was around me. So I think like, you know, growing up, I kind of struggled with identity because I didn't really have anyone to like, you know, look up to. And then I kind of discovered the whole soccer world, and like there were people that look like me that are on TV that are, you know, doing these big things, have these amazing achievements. And so I kind of just, you know, I think there was like a lot of different like struggles that I went with, like just, you know, being a person of color, like in a predominantly white area. Like I think there's just like things that I went through, things that were said, like, and so I think I kind of was not one to talk about what was happening. I was just kind of one to, I'm going to go run 2 miles and put my head down and kind of work through that. And so I think like having soccer as an outlet was like a really healthy version. And I think it's like, I'm really happy that, you know, that's what I turn to, because I think there are a lot of different kids that can turn to different things. So I think, in perspective, I think soccer really saved me.
What was some of the other things? Because I grew up, my best friend, I was just with him. I just got chills as you were talking about that too. But my best friend, his name is Will. So he grew up white mom, black dad. Mm-hmm. But his dad was a little darker, so overtook mom. Mm-hmm. So when we would play sports and things like that, I remember the first time that it hit me. And because we grew up in a military family, so there was a lot, it was a melting pot everywhere. I didn't live where we live now. Right. So when I came here, I looked around and I was like, where are they at? Like, where's everybody at?
Right.
But with him, the first time I noticed it was, I mean, we were best friends for probably a year and a half. And I was around his mom. I was around his dad. Mm-hmm. We went to football practice. Okay. And he rolls up. Right. But he rolls up for the first time with his mom.
I see.
And everyone was like, oh, is that your babysitter? And I was thinking, what the hell are they saying? Because his mom was white.
Right.
And that was the first time. And then I remember going to a bookstore. And this was probably about 5 or 6 years later. And we went to the bookstore, and I noticed him get nervous. And I was like, what are you doing? And he said, you don't understand. Everyone looked at me when I came in. They didn't react that way to you. Right. And I didn't know. But when he alerted me to it, then I started to see the stuff. Right. What were some of the things when you were talking about earlier that you went through, that you're going through in silence, that most people don't pick up on?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even as a young kid. So you had the picture in kindergarten, right? Do you still have the picture?
Oh my gosh.
Did you keep it?
My mom might have it. I'm sure she did.
I think it would be an awesome picture to show to young girls,
right.
You know?
Right.
Just as I think as inspiration. But what was the second stuff, and what were some of the things that you were silently dealing with that were normal in normal situations?
Right. I mean, there's like even things like just today, like when my mom and I will go up to like a register and we're clearly together, and she's clearly my mom, and they're like, oh, are you paying together? And my mom, like, you know, my mom, she's so, of course we're paying together. This is my daughter. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And it's like, I've like, obviously, like, it's good to, like, have my mom protect me, but, like, I'm, like, used to it. I'm like, it's okay. Like, we're just, yeah, we're together. Like, you know, but it's like things like that, like, you just don't think about, like, that's how people think. And I think, like, even, you know, growing up, like, just certain, I don't even know. There's just so much. Like, when I was younger, like, just, I think around second grade, like, just the name calling started, and like there was just like certain things, like when I was younger, like I just didn't even know like what to do with that. Like I think like when I was younger, I didn't even know what the N-word was, what the meaning was, so when I first heard it, I was like, I didn't know what to do. Like I went to my mom and I was like, this kid said this to me and I don't even know what it means. And like obviously my mom like went straight to the principal about it, like this, but I didn't know how to react because I'd never been like exposed to it. So I think there was a lot of like tough times, but I think like having my family, like obviously I'm only 1 year apart from one of my brothers, Max, and like he was like my biggest protector. Like if anyone messed with me, like they were gonna hear it from him. So I think I was definitely guarded from a lot of it, but it didn't stop. Like, you know, obviously there's the real world and little things that just, you know, happen. Like you said, like there's just things that I have to be smart about, like, you know, and just the way I carry myself, the way I speak. I think that like it really does matter. Like if you know I come off as uneducated, there are going to be assumptions that are just naturally happening. So I think just that was really a focus with, you know, my parents, and they were just like, you have to sound smart. Like there's no other way to it. So I think like just I was definitely guarded from a lot of it and just taught well eventually. But I think it kind of took being exposed to that to kind of realize like, wow, like I really am different, because I think, you know, my brothers never treated me different. My family never treated me different. And then until like I was exposed to being treated different, then they kind of educated me on, well, hey, like this is what is going to happen in the real world. And this is how you can avoid it. You can find an outlet. You can know how to deal with it. You can be educated. And so I think just finding a way, like I said, like soccer was always my outlet. And then I just worked really hard in school and, you know, just gave no reasons for people to see me differently.
Where did you learn to be able to turn because the negative, like you were talking about earlier, can turn into more negative. Right. I can get pissed. Right. I could take that fire and then I could just burn down stuff that's around me, whether it be figuratively or literally. Exactly. The other side is Tim Grover talks about it. So he talks about the dark side of elite people, and he was one of the coaches for. I don't know if you're familiar with Tim Grover, but he was the coach early on with Michael Jordan, and then worked with Kobe and stuff like that. Yeah. But he talked about them tapping into the dark side of where they were, that focus, and then turning it into the positive fuel. Yeah. When did you start to understand that, and where did you get that part? Because I mean, that literally could be the difference from. I mean, you came out of high school. In high school, ranked the #1 goalie, right? Yeah. I mean, this is massive, and you're committed to USC. Mm-hmm. You had went to Alabama too. We'll talk about that here in a second. But this is, I mean, you're talking about some of the top schools in the nation. So when and how did you learn how to be able to turn that into positive? Yeah, I mean, I think it was kind of obviously like you are who you're surrounded by. And so I think, you know, I saw obviously like my brothers and I had very different struggles, and my parents too. And like my parents come from a small town in Ohio, and like now they live in San Diego, California. Like I've just always been surrounded by hard work. And so I feel like those bad things were just like, it never came into my mind that I was going to, if something goes wrong, I'm going to turn and do this. Like, it was like, okay, what am I doing for this to go wrong? And like, what can I do about it? Like, I think that's like one thing my mom like always says is like, okay, I'm here to listen to you, but like, what can you do about it? And what are you going to do about it? So I think like just, you know, just not having a victim mindset, I think was like always just instilled in me from a young age. Like, you know, just, I think I always just knew like hard work can take you so far. So I think,
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just also like just within myself. Like I knew that there were places that I wanted to go, and like I knew that, you know, it sucks, but in this time, like I'm gonna have to like work harder than a lot of people that are next to me. And so just I think just your mind. Like I think there's like, I'm sure there's like so many books out there just like telling you about like getting your mind right. But I genuinely do think if you have your mind on straight, like it can take you really far, and just not getting distracted, which is obviously really hard with, you know, there's so many distractions in the world, especially as a teenager. And yeah, so I think it wasn't really kind of it wasn't like a certain time in my life that like switched and I was like, oh, like I need to do this or that. Like I think it was just like kind of what I saw. Like there was no other, for me when I was younger, like I just didn't see any other option other than working hard. Like it wasn't like I didn't really know like to turn to like a dark place. Like it was just kind of like, what's going on? Why is it happening? And what are you going to do about it?
When did you come in contact with the killer? You know what I'm saying? Like the switch, like everyone, like elite athletes like yourself, you guys have a switch.
Yeah.
And there's a focus, and it's like, we're going from, you know, we're having a good time. And then it goes.
Yeah.
When did you experience it for the first time?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's like, I think my freshman year, I got my first call up to the U.S. national team. We were U17 that year. I was 14 years old, traveling to a different state all by myself. Like I didn't even have a phone at the time. Like I got my first phone to like go on the trip. Like, yeah, it was like, and I was like astonished. Like when I got the email, like I didn't even know like what that was. Like obviously, you know, I knew there was like an Olympic team. Like I had no idea there was like even youth teams or like anything like that, because I was never really like, I'm obviously a goal-oriented person, but I wasn't like, I need to make this. Like, I just kind of, you know, like I was playing for fun and everything. And like I knew I was like pretty good, but I was like, oh, like I'm still playing basketball. Like I'm still, you know, just a kid and everything. But I think like mainly like my freshman year, like I just genuinely became like obsessed with it. Like my parents never had to tell me to like, you know, go train, go do this, go for a run. Like I just did it. And like, I think I've just always been one to like, if I want something, I'm going to do everything possible to get it. And so I think that was like, yeah, mainly my freshman year. Like once I got my first call up, I was like, wow, like I can really go somewhere with this. And so I just kind of from there, I think that's like the main switch when I really kind of took it seriously. And like my sophomore year, I quit basketball, and like I just really like honed in on, you know, what I wanted to do. And so, yeah, I'd say like freshman year around there.
What were the components for you that you see now that helped you along the way? Because there's a lot of times just small little focuses, right? Mm-hmm. Being a goalkeeper, mm-hmm. What are some of those small focuses that make the difference? It's not like, because when you get to the level that you are, and then, you know, we're even talking pro right now. Right. Your mom and I have been talking about this, and I know that that's even in the sites, and it's a thought process. When you get to the levels that you are, mm-hmm. It's not the physical attributes that is so much different. Right. It's not when I say the physical, it's not the speed, it's not the hand speed, all those things, because it's millimeters of difference. What are the things that you see that maybe a person not in the top 10 sees? Yeah, from a goal perspective.
I think just like you said, like everyone is good. Like everyone at our level is good. And so I think it's just like the small things that you do to like really separate yourself. I think the game of soccer is like forever evolving, and I think like if you don't evolve with it, it's not gonna work out. So I think like one thing I've always been told as a goalkeeper is like you're a soccer player first. And so being able to just play soccer, play with both feet, being able to do everything the field players can do and also be a great goalkeeper is genuinely what I believe can separate anyone. Like I think especially as a goalkeeper in today's game, like being able to ping a ball 50 yards, but being able to also just receive the ball and play it out while someone's sprinting full speed at you. Like I think being a goalkeeper is so hard, like hands down hardest position. Like you have to do everything the field players are doing, but you also have to be so smart, so calm. Like if we make a mistake, it changes the whole game. Like if I make a mistake, I mess up a pass, it's a goal and we lose the game. Like I think just being able to like control your mind and like, yeah, I think there's just there's like so obviously there's so many different attributes that like play into it and everything, but I think like just being able to control what you can control and just having a good mindset, I think is like genuinely what separates, you know, people like at the highest level. And, you know, everyone's athletic, everyone's good, everyone's fast, like you said, and everything. So I think just, you know, finding what makes you special and like really making it special.
So my brother would say to his kids, which I loved, he said, beat everyone. Before they left the house every day, it was just something very simple. Just beat everyone. Like, right. And it didn't matter what you stepped into.
Right.
And, you know, my pops was that way. You said, what was the saying that your mom said?
Keep up or blow up.
Keep up or blow up.
Right.
What are some of the, does she have others?
Yeah. I mean, I think my mom and I, like I always say, like my mom's my best friend. Like there is genuinely no one on this earth that has my best interests at heart like she does. And so I think she kind of always just told me like, be the best person you can possibly be. Like that was one thing that she would always tell me in the morning is just, you know, there's going to be hard times, there's going to be good times, but like as long as you're the best person that you could possibly be, like there's nothing else that I could ask from you. So I think that was like a big one. And then just, yeah, I think she always like kind of just said like, what do I want to be remembered for as well? Like she always kind of reminds me, like, obviously now that I have, you know, the platform that I do, like there's going to be a lot of different things that come with it. And she was like, she always kind of tells me like, when you die, you're not going to take your trophies, you're not going to take your money, you're not going to take your accolades, but people are always going to remember who you were as a person. And so I think just kind of finding like, you know, what impact I want to make. And I kind of spoke on, you know, having someone that looks like me, being able to inspire like young players as well, and even not athletes. Like I think kind of just knowing what impact I want to make and how I want to be remembered. So those are like kind of things that just from a young age she was instilling in my mind. And I think she always told me she knew I was going to be special and everything. So she really just like, she just implemented those small things and kind of just, you know, always just told me to be a good person. As
you're a young kid, a lot of times when your parents are saying it, I don't know if you were, but you're probably a perfect kid. But as I was growing up and my parents are saying these things, I'm like, yeah. When did this stuff start to click? Because when you go through early on, there's no way that you could know the type of pressure that you were going to have too. Not only just being in this area, you talked about being a woman of color in Carlsbad, which, I mean, if anyone knows where Carlsbad is, that's a ton of pressure. But then you know, in this area, sports, there's a lot of pressure there too. Right. And then comes the pressure of, not only do you have to perform on the field, but if you're going to perform on the field and be great, now you got to be an example. And then we add NIL, and then we add, and then we add, and then we add. So how do you keep the center still on soccer? Yeah, I mean, I think for me, like I genuinely love it. Like I love what I get to do every single day. So I think like for me, it's non-negotiable. Soccer always comes first. And like if I perform on the field, if I do these things, then the other opportunities will come. But I think like just keeping, you know, you see a lot of famous people, like they get, you know, this deal and this deal and this deal, and they start letting it get to them. So I think just like little things that I do, like I like coming home and, you know, spending time with my mom and like just kind of just never letting it get to my head. Like obviously you should know that you're a good player and like what you've worked for, what you have and everything. But I think just like keeping your head on straight, like that's like one thing my mom has always told me, and like my grandma too, like she just like don't let it get to you. Like obviously there's gonna be, you know, different accolades and things, and like soak it all in, because like I have put the work in to deserve those things. But also just like kind of like always what I was told, like you're a soccer player first. Like I'm a soccer, like if someone asks me like what I do, I'm a soccer player. Like I'm not a NIL person, I'm not a, you know, influencer. Like those things will come, but I think just, you know, remembering like who I am, like where I come from as well, I think is very important. What about the little kids that, you know, I've watched your mom and I've watched her coaching style. I've been around your dad.
Mm-hmm.
I know your brothers. And it's just amazing because they have raised phenomenal people who happen to be great at sports.
Right.
In our area, we won't name any names, but there's a lot of people that are just trying to force their kid to be good, and the kid ain't good, right? And most of the time it's because the parent maybe didn't accomplish what they needed to accomplish. So that, you know, this parent, you're laughing because you know exactly what I'm talking about in this area.
Yeah.
Those type of pressures for like, say, like for a young girl or a young kid that's starting off in sport, you know, starting off in sports, and they've got the parent that's over the top of them.
Right.
What is your, because you, not to say that your parents were over the top of you in a negative, but I mean, your mom is no joke.
Right.
Like I get to spend time with her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think obviously like my mom in a coaching role and my mom in a mom role is like very different. Like my parents were never really like, you need to do this, you need to like, I think like the main thing that like I would tell to a parent that's like, you know, growing up, like, you know, bringing up a kid in sports is like, it has to be fun. Like, that's like the number one thing. Like it was just always fun for me. So like I really just enjoyed what I was doing, and like I still to this day like love doing what I do, because at the end of the day it's a game. Like yes, there are pressures, yes there are this, yes there are that, but like when you're having fun, it's just, I don't know. My mom always like told me like, just imagine you're like on the beach kicking a ball around, and like yes, I could be playing in a championship across the country, but like it's just like, I think once I'm enjoying what I'm doing, like my parents genuinely never put pressure on me. Like I think I always say like my parents know a lot about baseball, but they don't know a lot about soccer. So even if they think they do, but so I think that was like always like, it was kind of just like my thing, you know? So I think there was never like, you need to do this, because like they didn't really know. like there was like never like a car debrief yelling. Like it was like, oh, you did a great job. Like it wasn't, which I think is so important. Like that is like one thing that I will, obviously your parents should like push your kids. Like, and I think my parents always pushed me to be a good person. And like, so that's why like, if things aren't going well in soccer, it's like you should have a different identity. And you know, at the end of the day, like you're a good person, you're a brother, you're a sister, you have other identities that you can lean on. And so I think the parents that kind of push those identity of like, you're an athlete if things aren't going well. And like, it's just so negative, and at the end of the day, they're kids. Like it should be fun. So I think like I never really had, you know, pressure on me. I think it was like, and that I think is like really big. Like just having something that, you know, you can go home to, and it's like, it's just like separate. I think that's like really important.
When you have a killer mindset like you do, and you understand what I'm talking about the killer part, right?
Yeah.
It's the apex predator part that not everyone can tap into.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, actually when maybe I was 21, 22, somewhere around there, my mom came running back into the house, and she's like, hey, there's a rattlesnake outside. Well, my mom was over dramatic. So I was like, there's probably like a worm out there, whatever. And we go out, and there's legit rattlesnake in my backyard. Gosh. And it's a small one. So I was like, it's a small one, no big deal. Oh my gosh. And I went and got a broom, which is stupid. Right. And I smacked it. Oh my gosh. And when I smacked it, it coiled up, started rattling, and then started striking at the broom.
Right.
And then I did what every super brave guy would do. I went and got a shovel, and I chopped that bad boy up and threw it over the fence, got done. And I told the story to one of my friends, and they were like, well, you got to be careful. And I said, well, I know it's a rattlesnake, but it was a little tiny one. He said, the tiny ones are the most deadly. And I said, why is that? He said, because they can't control their venom. Yeah. As they get older, they know how to be able to control the venom.
Right.
Have you started to be able to, do you have control of the venom now? Can you turn it off and turn it on consciously, or does it come through just in situational right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously I'm a very competitive person. Like it's kind of like you said, the saying, like, go be everyone. Like, I want to be everyone in everything I do. Like, I want to have the best grades. I want to have, like, but I think now it's kind of like what I was talking about before, is like, you know, being able to separate the two of like, you know, I'm also just an 18-year-old girl. Like I should be able to, you know, go have fun and shop and not, worry about these things.
Like
but
be
I
the
think,
best shopper.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You still got it though. Even when you're laughing about it right now. But I mean, can you play Monopoly with your brothers and not want to smash them?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Right.
That's different. But like, yeah, it's like, it's genuinely like been like, I've like lost friendships over it because like, I'm just like if growing up, like, it's like you said, like we have a foosball table, like I'm destroying my brothers in foosball. Like there's no question about it. Like, and so, but like, like a little ditzy girl that I was friends with when I was younger is going to be like, go cry to her mom that I'm like over competitive. Like, but I think just like knowing who I am and like, being able to like be like, okay, I love that I'm competitive. Like that's just like who I am, and just not trying to like, control it. Like there are certain scenarios that like, obviously like being respectful, like just being like a good person, but like deep down, like I do know like I'm a very competitive person, but I do think like I can control it a little bit more now because like there are environments that, I need to, if I'm like, for example, I just did an event with, I can say like names, like
you can
brands.
say whatever you want.
I just did an event with Bank of America, and like it was like street soccer, and I was like playing with little kids. Like I'm not gonna take them out and destroy them.
But does it calm? Does it like right now? Does it still calm? Because when I would go and volunteer at Pac Rim and I'd play dodgeball, like it would come out.
Kids,
I was nailing the little kid, and I remember the first time I did it, where the kid was like went to jump.
Oh my gosh!
And I hit him in the legs, and he just. And then he just looked up and he was like, Mr. C,
Oh my gosh.
And I was thinking, in my head, you should have jumped higher. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I'm teaching you about life, damn it. But then I catch myself.
Right.
And there was one time at Pac Rim where this little boy, there was two girls, my daughter and another girl, and both the girls liked the boy, right? Mm-hmm. And, as a girl dad, I was like, well, you need to stay away from my daughter. But then he chose the other girl.
Oh gosh.
And then I was like,
yeah.
Why didn't you choose my girl?
Right.
And I volunteered.
Oh my gosh. I'm done.
And all of us were playing basketball. Mm-hmm. And he was pretty good.
Right.
He had some game. You know what I mean? He was like, a little shifty, whatever it was. I locked his ass up. I swatted his shots. I told him to get out of here. And he didn't score anything. He touched the ball, and I stole the ball from him. I bodied him up. I rebounded. And I'm talking, this is like a second grade kid. Right. And I remember him just looking at me so confused. He was like, Mr. C, what's happening? And I was thinking, you didn't choose my girl.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So are there times where it, like the Bank of America, obviously you were representing, we love Bank of America. Are they sponsoring you yet?
Not yet.
Okay, so they should.
Right.
Well, if they don't, then we need to body those kids up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Have there been times where you had to like consciously back it off?
It's definitely like when I, like you said, the on and off switch, just like I actually like have to think about it. Like I'm like, calm down.
When's the last time you had to do it?
I'm trying to think. Like, oh yeah, like we have a program with USC. It's like it's called I think girls who read, and we have girls come in and we read books with them, and it's kind of just like an outlet for them. It's kind of the like underprivileged children in LA, and so we come and we'll read to them, and then after that we'll like all go play outside and play with those soccer balls or whatever on their field. And we were like playing a game or whatever, they first to score wins, and I get the ball and I'm like, oh wait, I need to like give it to them, like I need to let them score. But like my first initial thought was like, oh my gosh, go score, like go, we're winning.
Well, as a young kid though, do you want to have somebody like, if you got to play with you, say you're in second grade, you got to play with you, do you want to let you score as the second grader? Or do you want to score legitimately on you? Right.
Well, I mean, I think me and my personality, like it's kind of like, it goes back to like my brothers. Like my brothers never took it easy on me. So like I knew how to like deal with that. But I had to like remember like, not everyone is me. And so I'm like, I don't know how, different kids are going to react and everything. And like, I do have an image to uphold. And so like second grade me, no, I would have been mad if you're taking it easy on me. But, but I think like just kind of remembering like,
Would you have faced it? Like, would you have been like, hey, look, I see you? Because when someone's giving it, Like,
right. Yeah.
I remember my daughter was in 7th or 8th grade. She played flag football for the first time.
Yeah.
But they didn't have all girls teams. They didn't have all boys teams. And in 7th and 8th grade, there's a difference.
Right.
There starts to be a difference, right? And these girls were out there for the first time playing for fun.
Yeah.
But they were the only all girls team.
Yeah.
And they were playing against 8th grade boys.
Right.
And I mean, just getting
Yeah.
drugged, like 50 to nothing.
Yeah.
Full, field passes, the whole nine. And I remember one of the boys' teams let them score. And all the girls were like,
yeah,
that didn't feel.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think like there's difference between like you said, like pity and like just like you don't want to let like pity score or whatever. But I think there is like definitely like levels to it. And I think just like knowing your environment and stuff like that. So I think like just kind of reading the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How early did you have to start to understand that? Because it's tough. Like, you teach me to be competitive,
Right.
to want to win,
Right.
To be a good person while I'm winning.
Right.
But now you tell me to back off. That's confusing for a kid.
No, definitely. I think like I honestly like strictly remember a moment when I like obviously I went to a lot of baseball games when I was younger, and like I was playing with a lot of the siblings and stuff like that. And I remember, I can't remember what game. It was something to do with soccer, and like I think we were playing keep away or something, and like I could keep the ball away from this girl, so I just kept doing it. And like I remember we were like young, and I remember she like threw a whole tantrum and like because she couldn't get the ball, and I like couldn't understand. Like I was like, well, just work harder to get the ball. But like young me obviously thought that, but like I like actually think about this moment because like I feel like that's like kind of when I was like, wow, like people take losing very differently. And like I think just noticing and kind of like I said, like reading the room, like I think there are times when you should let others win. I cringe when I say that.
I don't know that you believe that one, Josie Biehl.
Yeah. I'm like, but like, you just like recognizing.
If you're not playing.
Right.
If you're not playing,
right.
It's okay to let somebody win.
Right. And just like recognizing, like, hey, maybe like this, they need this moment, or, just kind of being able to like separate the two. And like, I kind of did realize like, wow, like, I always like think like when something's going on with someone, like there's always like a rooted problem and stuff and things like that. Like, maybe they were raised differently. Like, maybe they got what they want when they were younger. So I think just like kind of being able to like separate it, which is like hard to like, it's really hard to like understand, like, when can I turn it on? When can I turn it off? But I think just like being like in tune, like, I think like one of the biggest things I always say is like, I think emotional maturity is so, so big. Like being able to like really try to understand people and like why they are the way they are. I think it's just really important as well.
How do you deal with losing?
Well, I don't lose often. I'm just kidding.
You're not just kidding either.
I mean, that's hard. Yeah. I still, it's still a struggle to this day because I hate losing more than anything.
Do you hate losing more than you love winning?
That's a good question. Yeah, I don't know. I actually like have this conversation with my mom because she's like when I like win something, like she always like tries to tell me like you need to celebrate your wins, because like when I win something, it's like almost like I expect to win it. Like it's a more of an expectation than like a celebration, Yeah. So I think like really like that's been something I've been trying to work on, is like celebrating my wins. Like I remember she keeps showing me this video and it's making me so mad, but she keeps showing me a video of when I was in Turkey, and I think 2024 I was in Turkey, and we won a four nations tournament, and we went to PKs, and I saved 2 PKs in that game, and like after I saved the PKs I just like walked away, and my mom was like, you need to like get excited, like do you even like this? Because my mom, like obviously she's very expressive, like she gets excited for me when things go well and stuff like that, but I think it's like kind of like I need to like learn how to like celebrate my wins and not just be like, okay, thank goodness it went well.
But is it because you expect to win?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like I think that's just like a non-negotiable. So like when I lose, I do think like, I think there's definitely like losses are going to happen. They're going to happen no matter what. And so I think just, my mom always had a rule, like I don't show really how I'm feeling until I exit that area. So I think like, you know, like obviously when I'm going to play the season at USC, like we're going to lose games, and like being able to control your emotions until you get into that locker room is very important. Like I think being able to, you know, interact with the fans still after you lose a home game, like being able to separate the two is like very important. And I think like it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier, is like having an identity to lean on and not having everything like your whole mood shouldn't shift because something goes wrong in your sport. Like I think that's something that like I've always like tried to work on, is like, you know, who am I if I'm not a soccer player? And I think being able to say like at the end of the day, like if I lose a game, I can still go to the stands and be a daughter and be a sister. Like I think being able to like separate the two is very important, and it's still is genuinely something I struggle with to this day. Like I think it's like everyone hates losing, and so I think just, you know, having other things to like be able to focus on, and kind of just, you know, we do a good job of like reflecting on the loss, like, you know, why did we lose? And I think that's like something that I'm very like, I critique myself very heavily. And so I think just when I lose, I kind of ask myself why, instead of focusing on the loss itself, which is kind of like helped me, you know, shift away from the fact that I lost.
As an elite athlete, what do you want to hear when you lose? Because every time that somebody loses, the people around you, we all go to like, everything's good, it's don't worry about it, all this stuff. But when you have an intense focus like you have, I don't want to hear that.
Right.
What do you want to hear?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'd say sometimes just nothing. I mean, I think it's like, I always say like, it goes back to like the whole conversation with the car ride home with your kids. Like your kids know you do something wrong. Like they know if they had a bad game, they're beating themselves up about it more than you probably are. And so I think like sometimes just like nothing. Like I think that was like honestly like really big for me, is like, you know, after a loss, like just talk about normal life. And I think that like really like just kind of gets their mind off of it, and like kind of just like, you know, reading the room, like every person's different and everything like that. So like sometimes I just like, you know, to get my mind off it and just go do something else, or, you know, I don't like, it's hard. I think it is hard because it definitely depends on the loss. Like if I have a terrible game, like I just want to be alone. Like I better not be hearing nothing from anybody. But if it's like, you know, like just a team loss, like the other team was just genuinely better. Like I do think like, you know, just being like, you know, you guys tried your best on to the next one. Like that's kind of like at the end of the day, like, you know, it's a long season. There's so many more games in the future. So I think but like, yeah, I do think sometimes it's like, if you lose a championship, like, and it's like a hard moment, like I do think like just having like a comfort, like, you know, it's okay. It will be okay. I think that is important as well.
How many times have you lost?
Like games or...
Can you count them?
I mean, this is one thing about me, is I like, after I play a game, like I do not remember it. Like if you ask me like a score, unless it's like a big milestone game, like because like when I played in ECNL, like my club team for San Diego Surf, like we played so many games in a season. Like there were times we played 4 games in a weekend. Like there's so I couldn't tell you. Okay. We played so many games, but I have lost. Like I have lost quite a bit, and I think
what's the most painful one that sticks with you? That is like, you know, if and then, like, right. You know, if I would have done this, then this would have happened. You seem to be a person who just leaves it on the field and just moves on.
Right.
But if you're human, Josie Biehl, which I don't know that you are because you're a superhero. A lot of times we have that one thing.
Yeah.
Is there one?
I'm trying to think. I will say my last ECNL playoffs, we lost that game in PKs. And it was I think one of the most frustrating games for me, we have one of my best friends, her name's Pearl Cecil, one of the greatest players in the country, by the way. Like, she's incredible. She goes to Virginia. And we've been on national team together. We're on the same club team. She lives like literally in Encinitas. She lives really close. And the other team, like, they knew that Pearl's one of the greatest players, and she's my center back, so she's right next to me. And so the whole game, they man-marked me and Pearls, put a person right next to us, did not let us touch the ball. And that was, like, so frustrating for me because I'm like, I'm out of the game. Like, there's nothing I can do to help, and there's nothing she could do to help. And so it was, like, really, like, my teammates, like, played really, really well. It was just such a frustrating game. And then I think, like, I always think about it, like, we go down to PKs, and it's like, wow, like, I couldn't have done anything during the game, but it's like, wow, like, I think PKs is, like, hard because it's like, I'm always going to think it's on me because, you know, even if I save one, like, I think I saved one in that PK shootout, and it was just, like, I don't know. I always expect, like, you know, more from me and everything like that. So I think that was, like, something that always sticks with me. And that was also, like, the last, like, playoffs that I played in. And so, like, yeah, I think that's the one that, like, always stays with me.
What'd you learn from the game? From that one?
Yeah, I mean, I think...
Like, if they man you, what'd you call it? Man mark?
Man mark, yeah.
So I didn't know this term.
Yeah.
Is that the man-to-man defense? They put like a box in one in basketball.
Basically. Like, it was, like, literally every time, like, I would have a goal kick or so the ball would go out of bounds, and, like, I would play it to a player, and they would stay so tight to Pearl, and then they would cut off the pass to me. And so the ball, like, could not go to us. So they knew who to eliminate, which was smart. Mm-hmm. But I think it was, like, I think one big lesson is just, like, you know, even if you're not in part of the game, like, when your name is called, like, you need to be ready. And so I think, like, from that moment, I kind of just, like, realized, like, there are going to be times when I can't be the hero, but when it comes, and that could become, like, later in the game, or, you know, I think that I just needed to be prepared. And I think, like, there's like a lot of games, like, I could think about, like, yeah, there's there's one that's, like, really traumatizing. And yeah, there's just, I think, like, one thing about soccer is, like, it teaches you so many lessons. Like, I can remember.
Is this the traumatizing one?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really bad. This is, like, probably, like, one of the lowest moments, like, in my career, like, genuinely. And it wasn't even against, like, a good team. Like, it was just bad. Like, so I kind of need to backstory it. So basically, I had talked about when we won the tournament in Turkey.
Yeah.
So kind of how the U.S. national team works is there's different what we call camps. So if there's like a tournament or there's a training camp, and 2 weeks before that, the camps, you find out if you're going or not. You get an email, and it's like, you're going, this is where you're going, this is, you know, so that's kind of how we found out. So we had a camp. So we had that camp in Turkey. I performed really well. We won the whole tournament, assists, and PKs. And then I think a couple weeks later, I was sleeping over at one of my good friend's house, and she had gotten the next email for the next camp. And I didn't get an email. After I had thought, like, my confidence was on top of the world. Like, I was, like, genuinely really, like, that was, like, I was happy with how I performed. And that morning we had to wake up and go to a game. My confidence was so low. Like, it was so bad. Like, I really let it get to my head. I really let it get to me. And that game, like, I was terrible. Like, terrible. Like, I passed the ball, like, it went off the girl into my own goal. Like, it was, like, I think I conceded, like, 5 goals that game. Like, it was, like, actually one of the worst moments in my career. Like, I still think about it to this day because I really, really tried. I think that was, like, one of the biggest lessons for me. And, like, I literally went to my coach and I was like, you need to take me out. I, like, broke down into tears. Like, I had really let that get to me. And my coach kept me in. He was like, you need to work through this. This is what you need. And I think that was, like, very important to me. Like, I think it was crucial point in my career, like, kind of learning how to, like, control my emotions. And, like, he really just, like, looked me in the eyes and he said, Josie, you cannot let anyone define you. And I think that's like something that I've always took with me, because, you know, there's always going to be someone who has different opinions on you, or, you know, has something to say. And like, I really, really can't let it get to me or let it get to how I play. And so like I stayed in the game. I think we actually won the game like 6-5, which is crazy. But like, yeah, that's like one that really sticks with me, like for sure. Cause it really was like, and like, it was hard because I was with my friend, obviously. It's like my mom wasn't there. Like I didn't have like my circle, which I think was really difficult for sure.
College comes into play. You're being recruited throughout the time. When did you start getting recruited? What age?
So I started my recruitment June 15th of my sophomore summer. So I was about to be I was going into my junior year.
It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a ton of pressure. But you've dealt with the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
As the schools are coming at you, how are you looking and saying, okay, what is going to be best for me?
Yeah. I mean, it was a whole process. So June 15th was the day that colleges could start like calling you and texting you. So like that was like, I think on June 15th itself, I had a game, I remember. And so I wasn't really like it's kind of like you said, like I was always like, soccer comes first. Like I will deal with the recruitment stuff like when it comes, but like I had a game, I had a focus for that day. And so I remember I took my first call June 15th, like night or something, and I kind of like had reached back out to the coaches and kind of was like, hey, can we talk tomorrow and stuff like that. And so yeah, I didn't really have like a idea where I wanted to go, but I definitely like had a dream school. But I think I was like open, and like one thing my mom was like very adamant about was like, you're gonna take all the calls and all the texts, and like one thing is like I just needed to say thank you, like no matter what, like I needed to, you know, acknowledge that I appreciate the program for reaching out and everything like that. And so I think it was definitely a really stressful process, but it was like more so because like I'm like I care a lot. And so like I just really felt a lot of like empathy for like the program. Like saying no for me was like really hard. That was one of the hardest things, is like having to, especially once I kind of built a relationship with the coaches, I think like having to say like, thank you so much for this opportunity, but I'm gonna explore somewhere else, was like really hard. And so like August came around. August 1st was when we're allowed to start taking official visits. And so that's when I started going to schools. And so that was like it was really fun. Like I think being able to like go to a lot of different campuses and everything like that, but it definitely was like, it was really stressful, especially it was really bad. I don't advise this, but I took all my visits back to back to back to back to back.
Like in the week, like back to back weeks, or did you go?
So for your visits, you can take, it's 2 days. It's 2 full days. So I went 2 days, 2 days, 2 days.
Seriously, how many schools did you go see?
I went, I don't know. I'm trying to remember. I went to Tennessee, Georgia, Texas, USC, Clemson, I don't know. I think I went on like 7 or 8.
What was the dream school?
UCLA.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
It was just like when I was a child, like growing up, like it was like a big, it was just like kind of like where I wanted to go. Like they have like obviously an incredible program and everything, and I can't talk too positive because we're rivals now.
Of course.
But it was just like growing up, like it was just like where I.
Did you know you wanted to stay on the West, like on the West Coast? Because when your mom told me about Alabama, mm-hmm. I was really excited about it. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't just for the soccer side of it. It was for what we talked about earlier.
Right.
The fact that I remember when we first moved here, actually one of our neighbors, I want to say they were from India.
Okay.
I think it was. And I remember the dad, I hung out with him, and the dad mentioned to me, he was like, we're actually going to be moving out of the neighborhood. And I was like, oh, why? Neighborhood's nice or whatever it was. And he was like, I just need to get our kids around more kids that look like them. Right.
Yeah.
And so I remember when your mom said Alabama, I was actually excited in that realm because I was saying that Josie is going to be in a scenario, in a environment that you're going to experience a different realm.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because I lived in the South for quite some time and stuff like that. But for you, was it the West? Was it West right off the bat?
Not really. So I can kind of go into that. Like, so when I first
do you understand what I'm talking about Alabama too? Because we talked about it, and we talked about like from a hair perspective, from all those different sides, which some people are like, that's a big deal. That's a big deal.
Right.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, no, it is. And so, like when I first kind of went into my recruitment process, like it wasn't really like I won't go here, I won't go here. Like it was kind of like I was more open. And so like, when I first visited Alabama, I loved it. Like, I mean, their athletics are incredible. Like I still to this day, like I love everything about it. Their coaches were so nice. And so when I first committed, I had verbally committed to Alabama. And I think it was like about a year later, I decided to decommit. And I think it was, it was mainly because I did see myself in California. I think like family played a big part of it. And it's actually funny because when I first decommitted, the two schools that I was talking to was USC and UCLA. And so when it like came down to it, I was like, wow, like my dream school versus, USC. And so, and when I first went into my recruitment, I had not heard from UCLA, but I had talked to USC during my recruitment. And so my mom was always kind of like, my mom was very, very supportive, like during the recruitment process. Like my mom never pushed me in any like certain direction. Like I kind of like would tell her what I was feeling and she would kind of guide me, but it was never like, you should do this, you should do that, like this is this. And so I kind of always like in my mind, I was like, well, I want to go where I'm wanted. And when it came down to it, I was like, UCLA didn't want me in the beginning. And so I think like I definitely, and like obviously I loved everything about USC, and like, I think the degree is going to set me up for a very good life and everything. And so I think, when it came down to it, I was like, I think this is the best place for me.
What are you studying?
Communications.
You are? What do you want to do?
Well, I definitely want to go pro for as long as I can. And then after that, I'm not too sure. I definitely want to stay around the sport, whether that looks like either, I don't know. I think like I've always liked the idea of like ESPN. I think that would be really, really cool. And I think also like just USC's their connections are incredible. And like obviously being in LA, like just the opportunities that have come with that has, been incredible. And I think I've really grown as a person as well. And so I think anything having to, still stay around the sport, but, just, I don't know. I don't really know what that looks like yet, just because I always think about this. I'm like, I don't know where I'm going to live. Like if whatever team wants me, that's I'm going to uproot and go like when I go pro. So I think it's like kind of up in the air right now, but I definitely know like out of college I want to go pro for sure, and then kind of after that I'll figure it out.
How is the like with women's soccer? I'm not as familiar with it, but say men's basketball right now, it's literally one and done. Right. So they go to college just to, I mean, obviously now you can stick around a little bit. Sometimes they're going 2 years, especially with NIL. But I know the NIL stuff is a little bit different depending on the sport. Yeah. Right. Is women's soccer starting to get a little bit more love that way? And then how does it generally run? Do you go 4 years and then go pro, or is it a one and done? Is it a two and done? Yeah. And how does that work?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think college sports are literally changing every day. Literally yesterday, they changed the rule that every athlete has 5 years of eligibility. And so they took away redshirting, even if it's like a medical red shirt. And they just came out with like a whole thing. Like, so if you get injured, it's like you can't redshirt, but everyone gets 5 years no matter what. And so, yeah, it's crazy. It's like, it's literally changing every single day. And so soccer, it's like, because I know there's some other sports like football, you just stay like 3 years or like 4, like whatever. But soccer is like whenever you want to go, you want to go.
There's an age part for football too.
Oh yeah.
Where you couldn't do one and done with football to go into the NFL. I think that's good because I mean you're going to get smashed. When you look at the NBA, like I don't know if you saw you probably didn't because you're focused on sports, playing them as opposed to watching them. But elite watchers like myself. I was watching the NBA draft and honestly these kids looked like they were 12 years old. I mean, maybe that's just me being though too, but it was definitely one and done scenarios there.
Yeah. Well, I think like, I do think that obviously there's so many arguments about, whether athletes should get paid in college. And I do think it is good to like keep athletes in school. And I think like paying them is keeping them there, I think. And it's definitely, women's soccer definitely has a lot to go. They have a far way to go when it comes to NIL and opportunities, and obviously football brings in all the money. But I think like we're all athletes, we're all doing the same thing, we're all working really hard, and so I think like once we are able to like close the gap just like a little bit more, I think it will be like beneficial. And like USC, we only have a women's team, we don't even have a men's team. And
you don't?
No.
Really?
Yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah.
Why not?
I think what's it called? There's like a bunch of different schools that like don't have men's like soccer teams. I think there's like some movement or something. I can't remember.
Do a lot of guys go pro right out of high school? Is that the route? Is there a, when I was saying this, I'm learning about soccer. I was watching yesterday. I thought that you would be proud of me. I watched the World Cup. I watched Mexico beat, was it Czech?
Yeah.
Is that really Czech Republic?
Game. I think so, yeah.
Okay. So, here's my question with this too is I was watching, gets down later in the game, Mexico goes up 1-0. I was like, oh my gosh, this is great. I felt probably not as much as the people in the stands because they were going nuts. Then there was the second one, and then there was probably 4 minutes left. And if you're up 2-0 and there's 4 minutes left, it's a wrap.
Right.
Like even the commentators, they weren't like, if it is. They were like, it's a victory.
Yeah.
And then it was probably 2 minutes left, and they scored again.
Yeah.
In soccer, is there a code? Because in the NBA, I was watching the playoffs, and the Denver Nuggets were playing, and they were getting routed.
Yeah.
And then the opposite team at the end of the game grabbed the ball, and the guy went down and dunked it.
Oh my gosh.
And then Jokic went after him.
Yeah.
Is there that code in soccer, or do you just continue to smash somebody all the way to the end?
I mean, I think 2-0 is like too close. Like I think like I always say like once it's 3-0, like the game's away. Like because I think like one of the most dangerous scores to be up in soccer, especially at halftime, is 2-0. Because once the other team scores another goal, they have all the momentum. Like I do think there's a code. Like, but also at the same time, I think it's like, reading the room. Like it is the World Cup. Like you do want to, because also that's another thing is in soccer, especially in like big tournaments, it goes down to how do I explain this? Okay, so if there's 4 teams in a group, right?
Yeah.
So 2 teams can tie. Like teams
How do you feel about a tie? Being as competitive as you are, this pissed me off yesterday because I was watching and someone was like, the commentators, and it was one of the games, and they were like, yay, it's a tie. And I was like, I was thinking about Josie Biehl, and you're a killer.
Yeah.
You okay with a tie?
It's definitely frustrating, especially like I always think like the Spain game. Oh my gosh, it was so frustrating to watch. The first game they tied 0-0, and the other team was sitting in we call it like a low block. They were literally putting all 11 players back, just defending, just trying not to score. And a lot of teams will do that because they know obviously Spain's a very talented team. They know they're going to lose the game. And so there are a lot of teams that are like okay with the tie. And so like especially in the group stages, like if you can tie like a really, really good team, the chances of you going through are like higher. And so I think, teams can tie in the group, back to like the respect thing, teams can tie in the group. And I'm not sure how it is for World Cup. I'll have to look it up, but it's if two teams both have 2 wins, then the team that will go through is either the team that has scored the most goals or the team that has conceded the least amount of goals. And so I think that when it can come to like, you know, a respect thing of like, you know, if you're playing a smaller country, like you don't want to absolutely embarrass them. But if it comes down to it about whether you held back or not for goals for, if you go through to the next rounds, it's like you're going to keep scoring. Like it's going to suck and it's going to be a bad feeling, but it's like you got to do what you got to do to get through the next rounds.
2.5 minutes left. You're up 2-0. Mm-hmm. You have a little huddle with your team.
Right.
Do you tell them to go smash it?
I mean, I think personally, it's like hard.
Is Czech are they a big one and Mexico's a smaller one, or is it opposite? Mexico's the big one.
Yeah.
And Czech is the smaller one?
Yeah. I mean, I think.
So do you ease up on them 2-0? I mean, it was literally like 2.5 minutes. I'm just learning.
No, I think if it's 2 minutes left, like the only thing I'm saying to my team is control the game. Don't concede a goal. Just control the game, move the ball. Like there's no need to go like make any risky decisions. It's just like control the game. It's like in basketball, they just keep moving the ball. Just move the ball until you have to do something, like until they, you know, start pressing or, you know. So I think like a lot of the teams like you'll see in soccer, like we'll go to the corner and just shield the ball and just waste time. Like there's definitely like different routes to it, but I think like the only thing I would be saying is just control the game. Like just don't concede a goal. That's our only goal right now. Like I wouldn't be like, we need to go score right now. It's just like control the game.
You played basketball. Mm-hmm. You played baseball. Mm-hmm. When you first started playing soccer, I mean, obviously you have an elite knowledge of it now. When you first started playing, we were talking about this yesterday, and when it comes down to PKs, you were saying this PK and the penalty kicks. The penalty kicks is what it's called, right? As a young kid, did you understand it? Because if they would have told me at the end of a basketball game, if we're tied, we're going to free throws, I would have been like, nope. You know what I'm saying? Like we're playing to the death. Yeah. We're playing until somebody. Right. Was that something that you had to adjust to in the sport itself? And also too, because I remember in the All-Star game for baseball, they tied and they went to home run derby.
Oh, really?
Which I thought was,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, because, and then they adjusted. Have you seen how they adjusted baseball where they put runners on second base?
Oh, yeah.
After a second.
It's like the California something.
Something like that.
Law, yeah.
I didn't even know.
Yeah.
And I was like, I blinked. I was at a Padres game and I blinked. And it was extra innings. I blinked and I, kind of looked off to the side. And then I came back and I was like, did I miss a hit? Because there's a dude on second base.
Yeah.
Did you understand it as a kid? And do you think there's another way? Or is the tradition like something that...
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Like as a kid, like I also like wasn't always a goalie when I was younger.
When did you choose to be a goalie?
It was kind of over time. Like when I was younger, I was always a field player. Like when I was younger, I was always a field player. And then... You
smashed people too, didn't you? Were you a striker?
Yeah, like striker, midfielder.
Okay.
And so I would like, kind of when I was in like elementary, like 4th and 5th, like kind of older, like I started playing like half and half in goal and on the field. So I'd like split it, and like I enjoyed like playing in goal and stuff, and I think they just like saw us like coordinated and obviously from baseball and everything. And so and then kind of like throughout like 5th grade was like kind of like when I switched mainly to goalkeeper, and I just kind of I started to like it even more, and just like eventually I was just like, okay, like I think like I'll stick with this and everything. But in terms of like PKs, it was just kind of like, I don't know, I think like once you like are in your sport, like you just kind of like adjust to the rules and everything. So it wasn't like, yeah, it was just kind of something
What are you looking for? Like in a PK, like obviously if I'm coming at you, I'm so slow, Josie, that you would be like, I got this joker, like we're winning now.
That's funny.
But when a person is approaching, what are the things that you're looking at? What are you assessing and as the person? Because that's probably got to be one of the toughest parts of the game. Am I correct?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone has a different strategy for.
Can you? You don't want to give your strategy because then.
No.
Could?
Yeah, no, it's fine.
You can. Okay.
Yeah, I.
What's your assessment? So you're seeing the person.
Yeah. So I'm like when we like in like big games, like I'll have like a water bottle next to my goal, and it'll have the numbers of the people on the team, and it'll tell me. Basically, someone on our technical staff will watch all the players' PKs, and they'll watch where they go, and so they take that average and say 9 out of 10 times this girl goes left. So I have a water bottle, number 5 goes left. So they know their PK takers and they know like the average of like, you know, where they go. But obviously, you know, players know that I have that. And so they're going to mix it up or they're going to keep it. Like it doesn't really help. Like I don't personally use the water bottle, but sometimes it is right. And so like that plays a role. I always keep that like in mind and everything. And then also just like, I personally just go off feeling like I don't know. I don't know. Like sometimes I just know like there are some people that, you know, they watch the angle at which they approach, and some people that watch, you know, their foot, or, you know, if it's a lefty, sometimes like lefties are more likely to go across their body, or, you know, so there are a lot of things that you can watch, and like there are things that I have tried, but like I don't know, I don't have enough time to like really like there are some players that like make it really obvious, like and so like just kind of like using, you know, what the game gives to me. You know, like there are some players that are like stare at one side and like, I know you're not going there. Like they'll make it like really obvious. But like my main thing is I just go off feeling and just go for it.
Can you teach what you have?
That's a good question. I'd say the things that I naturally have, no, but I think the attributes that I have worked on, yes, 100%. Like I do think, like I always tell like young goalkeepers, like when they ask me, like, oh, it's so cute, they'll be like little girls that like DM me and be like, oh my gosh, like can you send me what trainings to do? And like it's like so cute. I'm like, oh my gosh, you shouldn't be training, go outside, go go to the beach, like but like the biggest thing is like I always tell people is like go to a wall with the ball, like just pass the ball. Like I think the small details, like the things, like I think that really separates, you know, professionals is like they are just so incredibly good at the simple things. Like they make everything look so easy because they're you know, their base of like who they are as a player is so strong. And so I think just like, you know, you don't need to be able to do every skill in the world. You just need to be able to receive the ball and play it out. Like, I think so, like, yes, I do think that there are certain things that can be taught, but I do think, like, you can't teach someone to have a good reaction speed. That's just, you can't teach someone to, like, I don't know. There's just, like, certain things that you can't teach someone to be athletic. You can improve on their strength and this and that, but there are people that are just naturally gifted. But I think, like, one thing goes back to, like, I just remember another thing my mom always used to tell me is she used to always say hard work beats talent when talent is to work hard. And so she used to always tell me, like, you are incredibly naturally gifted and talented, but if you don't work hard and make those talents, like, you know, really, really special. So I think, like, you can always, I think the main thing is, like, teaching people how to control their mind, I think is so, so important. Like, you know, if you have really, really things that you're really, really good at, continue to work on them. They're not just things that you're, you know, really, really good at. And so I think that's, like, one thing is, like, that you can teach is, you know, you're really good at this, let's make it even better. And the things that you're not really good at, like, we can work on those things. But I do think there are like certain things that you can't teach as well.
At what point? Well, you were talking about that saying that your mom was talking about, that hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Yeah. I took 2 sticks with my son, threw one stick and just tossed it. It hit, and I said, "That's talent." I threw it far, and I said, "That's hard work." There's going to be a time where your talent is pretty much the playing field is even.
Right. Exactly.
When did that happen for you?
I don't know. I mean, I'd say like around, I think the main one was like high school. I'd say around high school, because when we were younger, like the players that were like talented, like they looked like Neymar out there. Like they looked so, like everyone that was like talented from a young age, they just had it, you know? Everyone thought their kid was going to be pro like the next second, like, and so.
Especially here.
Right.
Especially here.
Yeah. Yikes. And so I think like, you know, when they're young, like there is like, you can see who's talented and who's just not. And I think like, especially when we got to high school, like you really started to see it. Like, I think there was just when you get to high school, there's just so many distractions. There's so many, everyone's changing. There's so many, you know, and I think that's when you just like really started to see like who was working hard, who was getting distracted. And so I think that it genuinely like kind of separated people. And so I think, yeah, I think definitely high school, because I think when we were younger, you know, there were just like kids that were really fast and like kids that, you know, did this and that. And so like there's kids that had it. And so I think in high school you could like kind of really see the separation of like, you know, who really, really actually wanted it. And, you know, kids started driving and could make their own decisions and stuff like that. And that's when you kind of like started to see the separation. Like some of like my childhood friends like started quitting. Like that's when a lot of people started quitting. And so I think, yeah, that was like the main separation.
What's your biggest distraction?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't really get distracted. Like from soccer itself, or I don't know. I mean, I do think like one thing that I always like try to improve on, and I think I've done a better job of it in college now, is like balancing having a social life. I mean, like in high school, I genuinely did not have a social life. It was so bad. Like it wasn't bad because I did keep my head on straight, but like my brother like used to always get so mad at like, because there was like people at school that like I didn't really know I had this persona, but my brother would tell me like people thought that I was better than them, which was never like the case. But like I would walk around school with like both AirPods and just not talk to anyone, because like I just knew that could be a distraction to me. And so like I just didn't, like obviously like I had friends and stuff like that, but like I just didn't, that lifestyle never like interested me. So I think like now.
What lifestyle?
Just like, I don't know. Teenagers are dumb. They make dumb decisions. And so.
Define dumb.
I just think there's obviously benefits to, you know, having friends, being able to have fun, you know, go to the beach, whatever. Okay. But I think like, especially like in Carlsbad, a lot of kids don't have a lot of control and discipline. And I think like, you know, my mom like always told me like, you just, you know, you are who you surround yourself with. And so I always kind of struggled to find like-minded people here. And so I kind of just always, you know, veered away from that social life. And so I didn't necessarily have a lot of distractions. Like I just went to school, I went home, went to practice, went home. Like it wasn't like, and then especially like when I went online school, it was like I was training like 3 times a day and doing my school and just like kind of staying home and stuff. And I think like now that I'm in college, you know, I have roommates and I've kind of like been forced to like, you know, be more social and stuff. And I think like it's like been a lot of fun because I've also social with people that have the same goals as me. And I think like being able to find those people has been like super, super big for me. But I'm not one to like let myself get distracted. Like my mom always like tells me like if something's going on in my life, like she's like, don't let it distract you like before a game. And I'm like, I am so able to like separate the two. Like I feel like I'm just so like goal oriented. Like I will never let anything get in the way of like me achieving a goal. So I think like I've just never like really risked that. So I don't know. I don't really think I get distracted. I mean, maybe school gets me distracted.
How about the relationship parts? Because it's like, you know, as you know, to think that you're gonna, I mean, it would be great as a superhero, but you're human. There's going to be relationships. Most of the time, when I've told my kids, like especially my daughter, I'm just like, just stay away from them for as long as possible.
Yeah.
But relationships a lot of times can distract because that person is really attracted to you because of your focus.
Right.
This will happen.
Yeah.
I'm sure your parents have told you a bunch. But they're going to be super attracted to, oh my gosh, she's so focused. She's so amazing. This, all the stuff. And then once they lock in a little bit, then they don't want you to be that focused because it's taken away from you focusing on them.
Right.
Which is a lot of times.
Yeah.
And you see the best people. You see, like, let's look at one that, you know, well, my best friend and I were talking about that revolutionized golf, you know.
Yeah.
With Tiger, it wasn't golf that took Tiger down.
Right.
It was relationship.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how did you get yourself prepared for that, or are you prepared for it, or you know, has that started to come into play?
Yeah. I mean, I do think like
we won't let mom listen to this, or dad listen to this either. So.
No,
or brothers, because I know your brothers probably whooped somebody. So
no, I'm dead. Yeah, I think relationships come in like all forms. Like I think when I was younger, it was kind of like, you know, learning how to balance friendships. Like I said, like with the competitiveness of, you know, being able to like still be myself, but also like kind of understanding like, you know, maybe I do have a different mindset now. And I do have a boyfriend now, and he's on USC football. So I think that we're very like-minded, which I think has like been good for me. Like, yeah, I think it's it's really just, I think one of the biggest things is like we are our own people before we are like someone to each other, which I think is like very important.
What was the process for you, Josie Biehl, to let that happen? Because that, you know, and you smiled big for the person, you know, you smiled big when you said it.
Yeah.
But that's a big step.
Yeah, no, for sure. And like,
was there a process that you took it through? I mean, because you seem like a systems-oriented person. Were you like step one here, step two, step three?
Yeah.
Okay, you passed the test. Now I can talk to you and not, you know, focus in on soccer.
Yeah, no, it was definitely like different for me. And so like, like I first met him on campus and stuff, and like there was definitely like I'm always skeptical. Like my mom always told, not skeptical, but like my mom like
high
always,
standards.
Yeah, my mom like always told me like you just need to be really careful because you have something that people are going to want. And so I think like just knowing like the difference between like, does someone want something from me or do they actually like genuinely care? And so like it's been like a good process, and he actually just met my family last week, so it's been good. And I think just like obviously he has a lot going for him as well, so I think like just being able to differentiate like kind of, you know, like I don't know, it's been like complicated and like, but it's been really good. I think like just having someone to be able to, you know, go to about certain things. And it's been like, you know, really good because, you know, we have, like I said, like we have our own lives, but like we also have something like together. And like, I think it's been like, it's been really positive, which I think was like important for me. Like it doesn't get in the way. Like you said, it doesn't distract. And so I think it's been like positive for sure.
So let's go back to the World Cup part because I'm super curious about this because I'm trying my hardest to understand. Right? I didn't play soccer growing up.
Yeah.
My niece plays, so I was excited to go and watch her. But most of the time, I was asking my brother, like, what's happening right now, or why they stop the ball, or why, all these things. In the scoring side of it, is it just how many goals you gave up and how many goals you scored, or is there other parts that give points when there's a tie game?
Yeah. So it's just like, so the only way you can get
Points.
The only way you can get points is from scoring goals.
So in a tie game, how does one get ahead of the other, or do they both, like in the standings, say like in the team side of it? Is there a...
Yeah, and that's what I kind of was going into earlier is the like when it comes down to, say, two teams in the group both have 2 wins, and so they're tied in points. So when you get a win, you get 3 points.
Okay.
In the bracket.
Yeah.
So a win's 3 points, a tie is 1 point, a loss is 0.
Got it.
And so someone can go out of the group both having 6 points. They both have won 2 games, and they both lost, whatever. And the other 2 teams are out. And so, like, say the teams are tied for points, then I'm not too sure about what it is for World Cup, but usually it's how many goals you have scored in the whole tournament.
Got it.
That's like what sets. So if you have scored more goals than the other team, that naturally puts you ahead.
Okay.
So if those are tied, then it's how many goals have you conceded. So if one's conceded with 0, and then if those are tied, then it goes to head to head. So when you played that team, whoever won, that team goes through.
Okay.
So there's like there's like different things that play into it, and like every tournament's different. Like I think like World Cup top 2 from the group go through. So it's like every single like tournament is different, and like after the game is over, it goes into extra time, and then it goes into PKs. So you still have another chance to like win the game.
Okay.
And then it'll go into like, we won't see PKs till knockout stage for World Cup. Like teams can tie right now. But,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm learning, and I'm excited to be able to come up and see. I can't wait to come up and see you play at USC.
Yeah.
So when you graduated early, right?
Yeah.
In Josie Biehl fashion, you graduated early. You went into spring. Did you start in spring?
Yeah. So when I first graduated, I moved in, and we had a few.
So you're 17 at this time.
I freshly turned 18. I turned 18, and then I moved in. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. My birthday's January 2nd. I moved in like on the 4th or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so college environment, boom, just.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when you go for spring ball, do you, because not all freshmen, especially when you graduate early, not a lot of times, maybe because the competition elevation is there.
Yeah.
Right. Did you get a little playing time right off the bat? Yeah.
No, so for what we did was we did even playing time for goalkeepers. So we have 3 goalkeepers, and we all played like different. We all would play in the games. And then like I would start a game, someone else would start a game. Like it was like kind of switching, and like everyone gets chances in preseason because the games, like, they don't matter. Like it's just like, scrimmages and stuff. But it was definitely a lot. Like I went straight in, like started classes, I had 5 classes, like started like really everything. Like it was definitely a lot, but I'm so happy I went early, like, because now like I feel like I already know like everything, and like now my freshman year has started, and so I think I was really, really happy I did, and just like acclimating to the training style, the conditioning, the lifting, like everything like that. Just like I think that's the biggest difference between college and high school is just like the physicality point of it. It's really, really different.
Did you find that because you won't say this, I will. You were head and shoulders in sports early on with kids, like you were head and shoulders above, like obviously elite. But then when you go to college, then you got all the elites that come in.
Yeah.
Did that excite you? Did it create a little nerve in you? How'd it feel?
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely excited. I'm not. I don't get nervous. Like I just that's just not something that I get. But like I think I always like strive to be the youngest one in the room. I strive to like be pushed, and so like even from a young age, like I started training with professional teams. Like before I went to school, I was training with San Diego Wave, and so like it wasn't really anything like new for me, like just being the youngest person there. And so I was just like kind of excited for a new chapter. And just college soccer is something within its own. Like it really is something crazy. Like you never know who's going to be good one year. And so I was just excited in general, and just I was just more excited than anything.
Do you understand that I was telling your mom about this, but that like how marketable you are? Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Kind of.
Do you see it?
A little bit, I guess.
What like if you had your ultimates, like I have ultimates. I'm not wearing it today, but say with the podcast, like I want Panerai as a sponsor.
Okay.
Right. So it's a watch. I've wore the watch for years. I know the story of it. I wanted one for 12 years. My wife ended up getting me one. After wanting it for 12 years. So obviously she didn't love me for the like the first part of it. But I have those thoughts in my head for you. Who are those like, that you would want to represent? Yeah.
I think one big dream of mine has always been like Nike. Like, I think that would be like just so awesome. And then I've always been like, I've been trying to like work on, outside of athletics, like brands that I kind of would like to work with. And I've been reaching out to a few, and like, I would love like Sephora. Like I'm really into makeup. Like that's something a lot of people don't know, I'd say. But like I like actually really enjoy it. Like I've been getting into it like more recently.
How'd you learn it? Like, cause there's, did you learn it from like, did mom teach you?
Definitely not. My mom like is not. She's like, even this morning, she's like, why is it taking you 35 minutes to get ready? I'm like, that's not even that long. But no, my mom, she's like, throw a little dirt on it. But yeah, like mostly like online, and then I kind of just like mostly self-taught. Like I just kind of, it was like really like I was not into it at all when I was younger. Like I was like a little tomboy, like wore my soccer uniform to school every day. But yeah, no, I think like my like junior year of high school, I just like kind of started getting into it, and like mostly online, and then I just kind of went from there. Like I didn't even like start wearing mascara till like my sophomore year of high school. Like, really? Yeah, I was not into it, but now like it's like I really enjoy it, and so.
Can you wear it during games? Do you want to?
Not really, because like I'm like wiping my sleeves and stuff. But like sometimes we'll wear mascara or something, but yeah, not really during games.
What do you want the young girls to understand, and especially not only just the young girls, but the young girls of color that maybe are growing up in a neighborhood like you were talking about, that maybe they don't see themselves, right?
Yeah.
What do you want them to understand?
I think the main thing is just like being like so okay and so happy with like who they are. I think that's like one thing that I was like always struggling with as a kid. Like I just really like questioned, like who I was. Like in movies, I never really saw people that looked like me, or, so I think just saying I am who I am and I'm awesome. Like that's like one thing that I always like try to like tell like some younger like kids that will like come up to me or ask me questions and stuff. And I just think like discovering what you love and like really, really sticking to it, and like just hard work can take you so incredibly far. And so I think just once you figure out like what you want to do, just working so hard at it and never letting anyone like get in the way of what you want. I think that's just so important. Like I think, I've always just been one to preach like just working for what you want in life, and just, not making excuses, not coming up with things that, can stop you. Like there are always going to be things that, make it hard, and it's supposed to be hard. And so I think just really just working for what you want in life, and, imagining like, it's going to sound like cringy, but like, you know, from a young age, I always had a board of like everywhere I wanted to go, everything I wanted to achieve. And, you know, I knew that from a young age. And so just, you know, dreaming big, like I do think like just understanding that what you want in life is so achievable.
What's the big one now? Because it's like, you know, we're sitting now, I haven't seen you since 8th grade, but if I would have told you in 8th grade, well, you would have already said, I have it on a vision board and I'm going that way. But if I would have told you that, hey, you know, SC is just it's just the reality, right? It would have made you smile a little bit, take out your headphones while I'm at the stoplight and actually wave to me. I don't think you had the headphones in either. But what's the big one now?
Like the next goal?
Yeah, like the thing that makes you uncomfortable right now. Because, I mean, earlier you talked about like pro and it wasn't abnormal. Like your body language didn't change. I want you'll go back and watch this. And when you said it, it rolled off the tongue like you were getting Starbucks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what's the thing that makes you uncomfortable now? Or is there anything?
I mean, not really, because I do think like everything that I have set for myself as goals, like I know I can achieve them. Like I think that it's going to be hard and there are going to be, you know, ups and downs. Like, you know, we're athletes, there's injuries, there's, you know, life happens. And so I think there are going to be so many ups and downs, but I think like if I can control my mindset, like I know I will go pro. I know I will do these things. Like, I just think like instead of I want to do this, I want to be able to do this, I know I can do this. And I know that I know the steps that I need to take to be able to do those things. And so I think just really just sitting down with yourself and like, you know, obviously you don't want to be delusional and set like, I know I can fly, but like, you know, they're like just really just understanding the steps that you need to take to get there, I think is very important, because you can want these things and you can say, you know, you can do this, but I think just knowing the process and like knowing what it's going to take to get there and doing everything that you need to.
I was having a conversation with a woman on the plane one time, and she actually got angry at me. She stopped talking to me.
Oh.
So So everything was fine. Have you ever had this happen where you're having a conversation and then like maybe there's a comment or something and it's just like, it just shifts the vibe. Like, and I could feel she just shut down, she shut off and stuff like that. And I had asked her, well, she got into it. She was talking about women's soccer here in San Diego.
Okay.
Pro, who's the team here?
San Diego Wave.
Okay, so San Diego Wave. So she was talking about it, and she then she went into that she was angry, and I saw her start to get fired up. She was like, you know, I think that the women should get paid the same as the men in the sport, and I could feel it, and I'm a girl dad. I was like, you know, things should be equal, whatever it was. But then I started to look at the reality standpoint of it, of whether it be attendance or you know, viewership or things like that. And I said, well, you know, I understand where you're coming from, but do you and your girls on Friday night get together and watch the game? Right. And she was like, oh, no. I mean, we don't do that. And I said, well, until you do that, you're not going to make a difference in it. I said, how often do you go to the game? She was like, well, we go sometimes. And I said, well, do you and your girls get together and go to the game? Right. She was like, well, not all the time. I said, that would make a difference. That's when she shut down to me. Right. How do you feel about that? Because that conversation has been a lot of times. And again, I'm a girl dad. I want my girl to have the same opportunities, right? Yeah. But I also understand from a business perspective, you know? So when the conversation is from like, say like an Angel Reese that says, you know, hey, I should be paid the same as LeBron because I do the same as LeBron. Yeah. How do you keep that in perspective? And what's your take on it?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a tough one. I think when it comes to the terms of, you know, obviously I'm not a WNBA or NBA professional analyzer or whatever, but I do think there's a massive gap between the NBA and the WNBA of viewership of revenue, like I think that's not even like an argument. But I do think when it comes to soccer, it's closer. I do think it is. There's a lot of hype around women's soccer right now, and I'm so happy that the men are doing good, because like the women have been doing so good for so long, and it's like now the men are doing, like, I think it's like it's almost flipped. Like our women have been carrying our national team status for so, it's like when the women like make the tournament, it's just like an expectation. It's kind of like, I think it's kind of made, you know, the world realize like, wow, like our men are finally good, you know, which is like crazy to say, but like it's a reality. But I think like it, obviously I don't know the revenue numbers or whatnot, but I mean like San Diego Wave has been here longer than our San Diego FC men's team. And our San Diego FC men's team has been killing it recently. And I think it's just, they both have so much, you know, hype around each other. And I think they've been doing such a good job of like supporting each other, which I also think is so important. And so I think in terms of soccer, I think it's a very different conversation, because I do think the revenue is a lot closer. And I do think like there's sellout crowds for women's soccer games. There's, you know, there's a lot of excitement around it right now. And I think just, you know, it's I don't know. We always just say it's a great time to be a woman in sports right now. I think it's, you know, just, I think instead of, you know, comparing, or, you know, Angel Reese saying she's LeBron, instead of, you know, being kind of thinking of it of like, I deserve this, I deserve that. I think it should be the mindset of like, look how far we've come. And I think if you take a step back, like we have come a very, very long way. And so I think it's just special to watch. And obviously everyone's going to have their different opinions, but just kind of, you know, as a player, I'm just like more grateful than anything. And I think like, I do think that we still have a far way to come in terms of, you know, revenue and equal pay and everything like that. But it's kind of like you said, it's like people can't complain about it if they're not doing anything about it. And so I think, you know, there are like a lot of things that, you know, people can do, like go to games, support games, do different things like that. So I think like just in general, I think there's like a long way that we can go, but like also just taking a second to like look how far we've come to.
With the ultimate part of it, would you want to have, in the soccer side of it, would you want to have gloves that were a signature line of yours, a cleat that is a signature line of yours, or a all-around shoe that someone could wear? Say, like today, I'm wearing Adidas that are, I mean, they're not a, right, you know, but they're a soccer kind of style.
Right.
That I'm wearing on it every day.
Yeah.
Josie Biehl, which one would you want? Like, what would be the grail for you?
That's a hard question. Wow, that's really hard. Yeah. Right now, because right now I'm sponsored by West Coast Goalkeeping Gloves.
Okay.
So, and I love their gloves so much.
Big
like
shout out to them.
Right.
How long have they been sponsoring you?
I think we're coming up in 2 years now.
They are smart. They are real. They got on earth. They are very, very smart.
Yeah. No, I love them. I love, like, their colors are so fun. Like, I just got their new pink pack. And
is there a signature Josie Biehl?
There's not.
There isn't yet?
No, but I don't.
What's the name of them again?
West Coast Goalkeeping.
West Coast Goalkeeping. You better come correct. Yeah. Can you? I mean, what would you want it to look like? Do you want it to have a little, you know, pop to it?
Yeah, I'm big on like colors. Like, okay. I do love like.
We need a signature color then.
Right. Yeah, definitely something pink. Like, I wear pink gloves, and I always match my cleats with my gloves. So that's like one thing. And I don't know. That's so hard.
But if you had to choose one of those, and it was like, you know, hey, I got this. Do you want kids that go to school wearing Josie Biehl, them shoes that I was talking about? Do you want them wearing the cleats on the field? You want them wearing West Coast, what is it?
West Coast goalkeeping.
West Coast goalkeeping. We need to come correct. We need to have the Josie Biehl a signature line that needs to happen. I think you need have you been working on your signature since you were a kid?
Yes, and
like when you were a kid, were you like, when I autograph, I'm gonna do this? What age did you start doing that?
Probably like young. Like I was always like a doodler, so like I always just like probably.
And you
like,
got it down. Does it look legible like Josie Biehl, or is it that like my wife does like a B and like a squiggle? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
what you got?
I keep like playing with it because like I need to like actually like secure one though, because I was just at an event and we were signing a bunch of stuff and I was like, I changed like every time. And so I usually do like a big J and then it's like you can like understand it, and then like a big B and then like small. Like so it's like you can understand it, but like
so West Coast goalkeeping, we need to have the JBs on
I don't know if they have any like because they have a lot of they have a lot of big name athletes. And so I'm not too sure if they have any
need to have a signature line.
Yeah.
SC, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's hard though because I'm a big shoe person. Like I love shoes.
So you would go the shoes?
Would you go
the shoes off the field or on the field? You want your cleats or you want the? I see you looking at these shoes too.
I know, they're so cool. Oh my gosh.
So these were a gift from my buddy Edward.
Really?
So I told him, because I'm a big Tennessee Titans and Oilers fan, as you could see.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, I was looking for these with the red and the baby blue, because I think that colorway is great.
Mm-hmm.
And I said I couldn't find them, so he found them.
Oh my gosh.
And I just got them.
That's really cool.
I just got them.
My I was talking about my best friend earlier, Pearl. She's a Nike athlete, and like, oh my gosh, it's so cool. Like, she'll be like, "Oh yeah, let me know if you need like any cleats or anything." But yeah,
we ain't gonna worry about that. Nike's gonna be coming after you too. So.
Let's hope, maybe one day.
Yes.
But
which one? Shoes, cleats, gloves.
All the above.
All the above.
I don't know. I do think gloves would be really cool, and I do think I think one thing that's always been a goal of mine is just like getting goalkeepers more recognition, and I think it's like.
What do you wish that people knew about goalkeepers that would help the person? Like when I learned about my friend, he's a local here, Lonnie Paxton. So he's a long snapper for the New England Patriots. Okay. What he told me, and he's a long snapper. And so when you think of a long snapper,
right,
it's not a quarterback, it's not a receiver, it's not a running back.
Right.
But he was like, he won 3 Super Bowls with Tom Brady. I always give him a hard time because he lost one. But when he told me that he has generally 5 to 10 chances a game to do his job.
Yeah.
And they have to be perfect 5 or 10 times.
Exactly.
I had a new thought of long snappers.
Yeah. No, it's.
What do you wish that they knew about goalies?
Yeah, I mean it's exactly what you said. Like, I always think about that in football. Like, even just like the regular snapper, I'm like, if he didn't get the ball to the quarterback's hands, the play would never happen. And no one ever. You play snapper, like no one ever thinks about that. And so I think that's like the same thing as like no one knows how important a solid goalkeeper is until they don't have it. And so I think like the things that are like routine plays, like a ball could come straight to my hands. You don't know how important that play was until you have someone that goes straight through their hands. And like, I think one of the most misunderstood things about a goalkeeper is like a field player can make a mistake. We'll forget about it in 30 seconds. A goalkeeper makes a mistake. They're remembering it for the rest of the game because it affects the game. Every action a goalkeeper has can make or break the game. And I think that's like something that people like don't think about until they don't have it. And so I think it's like definitely gotten better over the years. But I think it's like just something that people really, really don't think about. And so like just the pressure of being a goalkeeper is just like no other. Like a ball could be rolling at me. It goes under my foot or I mess up or, you know, it's going into the goal. Like if a field player, it's just going to go out of bounds for a throw in, no effect. Like, you know, like there's just those things like that people just don't really think about. And so I think just the quality of having like a solid goalkeeper is just like so incredibly underrated to me. And like, yeah, I don't know. It's like hard. It's like really, really hard to think about. And I don't think a lot of people think about it until, it's gone.
Until you don't have it.
Yeah.
You seem like a very incredibly focused person. Is there times where your mind goes to different places? Like there's times where I'll be driving. Don't do this ever. And I'll think about something else, then I'll just kind of snap back to. Does this happen to you ever? Or do you just stay focused all the time?
I'm trying to think.
Does your mind wander ever? When you're reading, does it wander? Or does it stay right on the page?
Yeah. Okay. I will say like, it depends. Like, because like if I'm like in the middle of history class, my mind will wander. But if like, it depends on like the environment. But like, I do think like the times that I need to be focused, I'm like really, really focused. And I think that's just like part of who I am. Like, I'm just a very focused person, but there are like, I'm also just a kid. So
what's the silliest thing that you've thought about while you've been on the field in a game?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times the ball is not on your side.
Right.
What's the strangest thing that you've ever, that's even just passed through? I know you can't control the things that come into your mind. You can control the things that stay.
Right.
But has there been anything silly that while the ball was on the other side of the field that you thought about?
I don't know, because I think that's like another thing with goalkeepers is like that a lot of people don't understand, because they do think it's like there's a lot of standing that comes with the job, like, but I think that's what makes it so much harder is you cannot touch the ball for 40 minutes and suddenly there's a shot coming up a corner and you've got to be locked in, like ready, like when it comes. Like I think so I don't really let my mind wander during the game. And like also there's just like things I need to like consider, like we I'm like I play like pretty high up, like because if there's a ball in behind, like I need to be prepared. So I also think like one of the hardest things about a goalkeeper is like I need to know every position because I also need to tell them what to do. And so if I don't understand the game, like I can't just be spewing out nothing. So I think just like I try to stay focused on the game, like when I'm playing it. But like I'm sure like when I was younger, there was times when I was like, I wonder what my mom's cooking for dinner. Yeah.
So what's the next progression? So there's a difference for the non-soccer player, which is myself. There's the MLS. Is there women's MLS?
Yeah. So there's MLS is men's soccer league.
Oh, that's MLS. Okay, yeah, that's for the male. Got it.
Yeah, and then women's is the
WLS.
Oh my gosh, why am I blanking? The women's is the WPSL, right? Yeah, Women's Professional Soccer League. Yeah.
Okay, so there's that.
Yeah.
And then there's the teams from, say, like before Messi came to America and played, he's playing for Miami now, right?
Yeah.
Before he did that, and he was playing for, who was he playing for before that? Do you remember?
He was all over. I don't know right before, but he was playing for Barcelona.
So that's playing for a country. Or no?
No.
Help me with this.
Yeah. So there's like countries that come together for big tournaments, whatever. He plays for Argentina.
Got it.
So there are teams like overseas.
Like Manchester United.
Right.
Okay, so what is Manchester? Is that what league is that?
They're in what league are they in? There's a lot of different leagues that are overseas. Is there a
women's league like that?
Yeah. So there's like Manchester United has a women's team. Like
they do.
Barcelona has a women's team. Yeah.
Traditionally, it seems like say like the MLS, when they started bringing people in. So Beckham was one of the first people as far as a big one that they brought into Galaxy. And then when they brought Messi, it started. But it seems like traditionally the MLS didn't produce as much revenue as what the others did. Right? Because the highest paid athletes right now are soccer players, right? Like out of any athletes. Am I correct on this? Is it Ronaldo?
I think so.
Or is it Messi?
I don't know. I want to say it's Ronaldo because he's still I think he's playing in Saudi Arabia right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is that the same for women's leagues as far as like, or is the LP, what is it? LP?
WPSL, yeah.
You said that fast.
Or wait, oh my gosh, I've been saying WPSL. It's the NWSL is the professional league.
Okay, say that again.
NWSL.
Okay, NWSL.
Yes, I was thinking of the WPSL is like a semi-pro league that like you can play.
So
in.
what you just that one's like for layman, that would be like the MLB.
Yeah, the NWSL is like the MLB.
Okay, got it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that one fairly newer?
Yeah, it's technically newer, and like it's like the same thing as the MLS. Like they try to keep people in the States to play in the NWSL, but a lot of the good players go overseas.
Are you going to go overseas? Do you want to do both?
Yeah, I do think that.
Or is there a preference?
If I had to choose, I would go overseas.
You would, okay.
But I think, like, I don't know. I think it's hard because I don't know how long I'll go to school. And so I think realistically, once I decide I'm done with school, whether that's 1 or 4 years, like, I don't really know. Realistically, I'll probably have to go to the NWSL to start in the States. And then kind of from there, like, it's really, really difficult to go straight to overseas. But I have had like some interest from like teams overseas, like some teams in Portugal or stuff like that. So I think like, because I also have, there's like a lot of different rules with like international kind of, I don't know, there's like transfer rules and like this, like that. There's just so many different things, but I also have dual nationality, which is very, very important to have, like, because if just a girl from like America was trying to go overseas, like it's very difficult for her to do that. But since I have dual nationality, I would be able to go overseas if I wanted to.
What was the biggest like eye-opening and kind of pinch me moment when you first went to USC?
I honestly, like, just like my everyday life, like I always do try to, like, I don't know, like I think a lot of times like people put, people on pedestals and everything, and like I always like think like I'm the most normal person. Like I'm also like so young, so it's like I try to, obviously I'm in the moment, but also I like try to step back, and I'm like, wow, like this is like, little me would be like, wow, like this is my life. And so I think like just, being in LA and like, I'm like, I wake up in the morning and I go to my dining hall and I get a free nice meal. Like I get omelet made for me, and like I go and I get to play in my brand new stadium, and like I just really like try to like take it all in, and like even like the small moments of just like, wow, like I have the ability to go and like go grocery shopping without any worries, and like just like the small things like that. And I think like that's like just been a big thing of like my parents have instilled in me, is just like really just like being grateful for everything.
Who is the like in the entertainment space? Who's the person that you would most want to meet?
Oh, that's a good question. Entertainment.
Sometimes I don't want to meet him because I'm excited about him, but I don't want to meet him because I don't want him to be like not exciting.
Right.
And I've had that happen quite a few times in my life where not a ton, but and then I had to think about like, I don't know what they're going through at the time, but I was like, whatever they were going through, I wish that I didn't have that interaction because I don't want to,
ruin what you think.
Yeah, because what you had, you know what I mean? Is there in the entertainment space, is there anyone that?
I would say like, I want to meet Zendaya. I think she's really cool, and I think she'd be like really genuine.
What about in the sports side?
Oh, there's so many. I mean, just like, I don't know. I don't even know if I could just pick one. Like, I always like would think LeBron, like, wow, like what? That would be so incredible to just like meet him and like have a conversation. And like even in like, I think I've been like really lucky to be able to meet a lot of like my soccer idols, which is like really cool because like I always try to like take it in like, wow, like I'm in the same room as them, I'm in the same environment, like being able to train with them. Like
who are the ones in soccer
one person I really did look up to was Kaylin Sheridan, who she actually just got traded, but she played for San Diego Wave. And so like when I first trained with them, like I got to like meet her and like actually train with her, which is like so cool. And she was such an incredible person, which just like made it 10 times better. Like she's definitely like one person that I really, really look up to, like just in terms of both like on and off the field. And she just like most recently became a mom, which is like so incredible and exciting. And she's just like a really genuine person. But yeah, I mean, in terms of other athletes like LeBron, Messi, Neymar, I think Steph Curry would be really cool to meet. Yeah, I just think his mindset and like I always like watch like some of his like videos and stuff like that, but I just think his ability to control his, all these athletes, to be the ability to just like silence the world and like really just like focus on what they're doing, I think is like really cool. And they're also just like very family oriented people. I mean, obviously we have like these view of athletes and we never know how they actually are, but I think just those athletes like represent like, who I want to be, and it'd be really cool to meet them.
What would be the deciding factor for you? And you said you don't know how long you'll be at school.
Mm-hmm.
What would be the deciding factor to say,
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll kind of know when I'm ready. I think as long as I'm being pushed, like, and tested, I do think like that's a good environment to be in. I also know like the importance of getting a degree. Kind of like I said, like being an African American woman, I think having a degree is very important as well. So I think it's not really like, I don't really have a timeline, but it's kind of like, when the time is right, if I feel ready. I also know like I'm a competitive person, so I definitely want to play. So I think right now in the NWSL, there's not a lot of young goalkeepers that are seeing the field. So I think kind of until that changes, I think those are like the main factors.
Great team. Play a little. Good team. Play all the time.
That's a tough one. I think a lot of different factors would play into it, but I think definitely like playing over not playing. I think like you can be a part of something great, but if you're not really a part of it, I think that's like really hard. And I think that's something that, I might have to meet this year. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be seeing the field at all times. And so it's like, and that's not something I've ever gone through. So I think that's like kind of what I'm mentally preparing for. Like, I'm going to have to sit on the bench and I'm going to have a smile on my face about it. So yeah, I think playing over not for sure.
Yeah. Is there any way to be able to prepare for that, or do you just take that, like we were talking about earlier, do you take that fire and then make it more fuel for you to train harder, for you to train, and
Yeah, I think definitely like it's gonna. I mean, I'm always like, one to work hard and everything, but I think it definitely is going to create fuel. But I think like the main like not like preparation, but the main thing is like, I'm always going to want what's best for my team. So whether that's me on the field or off the field, like that's just something that I'm going to have to accept. And, at the end of the day, we all want to win a championship. So whoever's the best fit for that is just going to be. And so I think just, being able to like control my emotions, like I think, there's all types of different reactions that people have to, not getting, what they want. And so I think just being able to be like, that's what coach thought was best decision, and kind of just, going with it.
But it's great because, I mean, you have such humility. You have a phenomenal mindset, but also too, sitting across from you, I could feel the energy part of it of like, but I still don't like that.
Yeah.
Right. And that's a part that you have to have, or else you're not going, you don't get to be Josie Biehl. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's kind of cool. I think the last time I was driving on the freeway and I saw the sign, and the sign said 109. When I moved here, I think it said, maybe it said like 63 or 65 or whatever it is. So our city has grown, Carlsbad, I'm talking about. So it's 109,000. If I could get 109,000 people into a stadium right now, and you had a couple minutes with them to help them to understand as a community what they could do, or to help them to be able to see the impact of not looking the same, and what a young girl goes through, or even just a young person goes through not looking the same in Carlsbad. Because again, when we're in this situation, a lot of times, because a person is like, well, that's not that big of a deal. But if you got to address those 109, what would you want them to know?
Yeah, I mean, I think the main thing is just, I don't know, that's a hard question. I'd say just being considerate. Like, I think a lot of people don't understand, like they would never know what someone goes through, but it's also like they don't ask, or they don't think about how they're affecting them. So, I mean, like, I can think about like when I was younger, there's another there's a girl actually that lives like the neighborhood across, and she's African American as well. And I remember when I was younger, I would like go for a run, and they would be like, oh, hey, and they would say her name, and I was like, I'm not her. And we look nothing alike. And like, I just don't think they like understood like how that can affect someone. So I think really just not really helping them like understand, but I think like really just saying like, hey, like this is actually affecting someone. So because I genuinely, I do think like some of the, the people in our community, they're not meaning to do it, but I think it's like more their ignorance of like, they don't understand that it's actually affecting someone, and like, we're real human beings. And so I think just really like sending the message of like thinking before we're speaking, and like really just, it's hard. It's really, even though people don't try to make people feel different or feel, a certain type of way, like they still can. And so I think just, and it's not just like African American people, like it's every type of minority. Like I think just really just trying to like consider what you're saying before you're saying it, and just thinking about other people's feelings.
What if you got the opportunity, which I'm sure that you will, and I know that you have, and you've had incredible impact on like the younger generation, being around kids, you were saying, doing the camps, that you had to pull yourself back from smashing these little kids, and things like that. But if you take let's take the young girls that are going into sports, what would be like the top 3 things that you would tell them, whether it be sports or even academics or any of those things? Because with you actually are hitting on all of them. Right. So you were, amazingly sound academically. You were phenomenal at sports. You're an incredible human being. So that's a triple threat that most of the time people have one of them. They're a really good person, but they can't like move the ball at all, or maybe they don't do good in school. They do good in school, but they can't talk to people, or, but you have all 3. You have the little girls there in front of you. What are you going to say to them?
Yeah, I think the first thing, especially like when it comes to athletics, is just like, I don't know. I think one of the biggest things that I always tell little girls is just like having fun with it, because it's never, ever, ever that serious. Like it is, but it's really not. Like if you really think about it, it's a bunch of grown people kicking a ball around. When you really, really put it into perspective, like it is just a game at the end of the day. So I think really just not letting it, it's like, it's so impossible to like not let it define you. But like the main message is you are so much more than your sport. Like that's like something that I always try to tell people is, you're so much more than that mistake you made today. You're so much more than that test score that you got, And so I think just like mainly finding your identity outside of that thing that you're focusing on. Because I think if you really like, I think that's something that I struggled with when I was a kid is like, who am I if I'm not an athlete? And I think that's like even something like I still struggle with to this day, because I'm like, I was the type of person that I'm like, I'd rather have a whole bad day than a bad game. Like that was like genuinely my mindset. And I think like, just discovering like who you are outside of your sport or outside of school or outside of, inspiring people. I think it's like, it's very important, because you should be able to like lean on those identities. And then also just another thing is like, kind of like what we were talking about is just like being a good person and like really trying to consider other people's feelings before your own. I think that's like very, very important and like a good message, especially for right now, because I just think people are so quick to judge or, just not consider others people's feelings. So I just think really trying to like take time to like understand people and why the way they are. And so I think just I mean, it sounds like simple, but just like be kind. And like the last one I'd say just, I don't know. I think like the main is just like be a good human and like have fun and just find your identity outside of like just, work, school, sports. Like I do think it's like very, very important, because you can really get lost in it. And I think that's something that I would say to like anyone, like whether it's sports or not. Like I think if you have a bad work day, like you shouldn't let that define how you go home to your family, or there's just like so many different things, and just like you never know what someone is going through. So just trying to be kind and not make what they're going through worse.
Are you a Mookie Betts fan?
Oh my gosh, my mom loves him.
Are you a fan?
Yeah, he is. I think he's a really cool person, and like, his daughter is so cute. Like, wow. But yeah, he's a really cool guy.
Do you know that he's a pro level bowler?
Really?
Yes.
I did not.
He has multiple 300 games.
Oh my gosh.
And when he retires, they're talking about the fact that he will go on the pro tour and bowl professionally.
That's so crazy.
So what is something that you do that people don't know about that you will just smash some people at? Like you wouldn't think Mookie Betts in bowling.
Yeah.
What would I not think about with Josie Biehl?
I'm really good at pickleball.
Pickleball?
Yeah, it's really random, but I love pickleball. It's so fun. And
really?
Yeah, I'd say like pickleball, basketball. Yeah, mainly those two, but those are like the main ones. I think pickleball is so fun.
If you would have focused on basketball?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think I really had the height, but I also like was so inconsistent with it. Like I started playing when I was like young, and then I played a little more in 6th grade, and then I stopped, and I like picked it up freshman year of high school, and like, I was just so like. But I do think if I like was as consistent as I was with soccer, I think I would have gone far. Like I mean, since I was like 10 years old. I've been training 4 times a week, every day, every week. Wow. Like, I think if I was like as consistent as I was, I mean, it's like, I think you become what you focus on.
Where is Josie Biehl a kid?
Like, what do you mean?
Like in your life, where are you a kid? Where are you? Like...
Oh, I understand. That's a good question. I mean, I do think I've been better at balancing it. I think that was like one of the things I really wanted to like focus on going into college. Like, just you know, like it sounds like bad, but like having a life too. Because I do think like when I was a kid, I was really, really focused on like what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And I just really did not want anything to jeopardize or get in the way of like where I wanted to be. And so like I do like always think about it. Like I wasn't going to birthday parties. I wasn't doing these things. I didn't have sleepovers. Like there are like a lot of sacrifices that I had to make. But I think it's like, you know, I'm happy with those sacrifices that I had to make, because it's like I'm not where I want to be yet, but I'm getting close. And so I think like part of it is also just my craft is where I can be a kid. Like I like genuinely love soccer with everything inside of me. Like it's what I do when I'm bored, when I'm tired, when it's just like I think that's like what also like separates great athletes is like their happy place is their craft. And I genuinely think like I get to be a kid when I'm, you know, on the field. And like there are times like on my off days when I'll go like play pickup soccer like with my friends, and like it's just so fun. Like there's no stress, there's no worry, but like I'm still playing soccer. And so I think like, yeah, like there's like on campus there's like some pickup teams that we'll like play with and stuff like that, and it's just like so fun. And so I think like it sounds bad, but like really like outside of soccer there's not much, but like still while I'm in soccer like I'm still having fun.
When you say that, like that it sounds bad, do you really feel that it sounds bad? Because this is a thing that I've sat with at times where the social constructs for us a lot of times will tell us, oh, you need to balance. But for me, like say when I went into my industry very early, most of my friends were kind of screwing off doing their thing, and I went into my industry, and like literally if it didn't have to do with my industry, I honestly, like if you wanted to come and be a part of that, I was cool. But if not, I was good. And I just moved on. And then I felt a lot of pressure societally to, balance. But in my head, I was like, I don't care. Like it doesn't. So, but then I would say to people, you know, I really do need to.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
do you really feel that you need the balance, or are you just completely cool? And, you know, because most of the time, again, we're almost made to feel like
we need to.
Yeah. Do you really feel like you need balance?
I mean, I don't.
Like if it's just you, Josie Biehl, just by like there. Yeah. Do you really feel that?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I mean, I think like I'm happy. Like there are like, you know, I find fun in my craft. Like I think there are like times when I like to slow down and like, you know, do different things and everything, but it's like that's like kind of like the thing is like I don't crave, you know, to go do these other things, because I'm like I'm happy doing what I do.
Yeah.
It sounds bad.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't at all. But I think a lot of times we caveat it with it sounds bad, because we almost want to make the people feel comfortable, right?
To be like, oh, that's not healthy.
But when you're around, it seems like now at college and stuff like that, and even like with the new man, you're around more people with the killer in them.
Yeah.
Do you feel more comfortable in that environment?
Yeah, because it's like we have like so many shared experiences. Like we've all made the same sacrifices, so it's like they understand. And like I think that was always something I struggled with in high school, is like I genuinely struggled to have conversations, because I was like, they were worried about what party they were going to, and I'm like, well, I'm going to a different country this weekend. I need to figure out what, like, it was just like, and like I'm not one to like really like you would never know like what I do. Like I hate like telling people, like I don't like it, like, but so I don't like, I feel like people that like can only like talk about, like it just comes off as like braggadocious, and so like I just never like really talked about it, and so I was just like kind of quiet. But yeah, I do think it's like being surrounded by people who are like-minded as you, who has gone through the same thing as you, who, you know, want the same thing as you. I think it's like, it's really something special. And it's like, those are like friends that I'll have forever. Like it's just something that I think I needed really bad.
So most of the time when people talk about, it's another kind of almost social construct, is I don't do it for the awards, I don't do it for the accolades, things like that. But there are things that mean something, like that, that you're like, you know, there can be something that you get recognized in that you're like, nah, I mean, that meant something, right?
Yeah.
What's the most valuable thing for you? And it doesn't, I mean, some people think that it has to be, say, like, Jalen Brunson just won the NBA Finals. We got to go to Game 5, by the way.
Oh my gosh.
So I got to take Maddox.
So
we were
cool.
in San Antonio, saw the Knicks win for the first time in 53 years. It was unbelievable, especially for all my Knicks fans that are so pissed off because I'm not a Knicks fan, but I happen to be there. But I would venture to say that most likely Jalen Brunson, when, you know, winning the championship or even winning the MVP, there's probably something in his career that was personally to him more meaningful, even though to the world it would have been the MVP of the finals. Yeah. What's Josie Biehl's?
I'd say, that's a really good question. I'd say like one thing that means like so much to me, and like it's like genuinely really special, is like when I like sit down and I always try to like go through my phone and like answer like all my like DMs as much as possible and stuff. And like when there's like a little girl that like will write me and be like, oh my gosh, like you're so inspiring. Like I got up and like trained today because like I came across your page and like realized that like I can do it too. And like it's just so special to me, like, because at the end of the day, like that's like everything that like I want, is like, you know, to be able to show people that, you know, they can do it too. And I think that's like a main one. And like just also like I think a lot of people probably don't know like just like how special my mom is to me. And so I think like just being able to like make her proud is like something that is like, it's like you said, that's like my championship. Like I think that's like it's incredibly special. And like like my mom will always be like proud of me and stuff, but like I just like, I think just for her, all the sacrifices like she's made, and you know, just being able to just be able to give her everything that she deserves.
Obviously you have humility, you have these things. What's the trophy that you didn't get that pissed you off the most?
Like for
like an individual, like an individual accolade, but because most of the time people don't talk, everyone wants to become Mother Teresa, especially as they're an elite athlete, but being Mother Teresa didn't get you to be an elite athlete. A killer did, right? If I'm competing against you, like if you finish that sentence, I know what it's going to be.
Yeah.
I'm winning. If there's two people going in and one person coming out, I know the answer there. It's going to be Josie Biehl. Like that's right. So was there an accolade or an award that you were like, you know, because again, most of the time people never talk about that part. They just like, no, the right person won it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But has there been one? Like an individual?
I'm trying to think. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. Maybe I'll think of something. I don't know.
What's the greatest compliment that like that means the most to you, but most people don't understand it? So I'll put it in perspective. So I had a woman on, and she complimented the show because she said that I felt like the microphones went away, the cameras went away, and we were just having a conversation. Yeah. To me, that meant the world. Yeah. Right? There's other compliments that people give or whatever, but that one, it's like, yeah. What is that for you? Like when you hear X, this makes me feel the greatest.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's like a lot. I mean, I think just like compliments in general, but like kind of going back to like what you said of like kind of like what I was talking about like the younger kids. Like I just think it's always like if I'm able to make a kid feel seen or make them, you know, believe in themselves, like I think that's like one of the biggest things. And like I said, like that there is like one that I remember, and I had like this whole conversation with like a younger girl, and like I think it was like her mom was running her Instagram or something, and like I sent her like some, like I was like, she was asking me like what training to do or whatever, and I like responded, and like she like sent me a video of her doing it, and like it was just like it's just so cute. And like I just think like, yeah, just being able to like anyone that kind of is like you made me believe in myself, like I think that's like one of the biggest things for me is like, wow, like because that's like at the end of the day, like that's the end goal. And like just like making kids, you know, believe like, you know, if they work hard, like they can do anything, but like they're also like more than enough, like how they are as well.
What do your parents not hear enough from you?
Oh, that's a hard one. Parents not hear enough from me. That's a really good question. I don't know. That's a really good question. Gotta get my mom back on here. I don't know. I mean, I feel like I feel like I'm always like, I mean, my parents just always like instilled like gratefulness in me. So like, I feel like I'm always telling them like how much like, you know, their sacrifices and everything has meant. You know, I know my mom would say if she was here, she'd say, I'm taking a day off. And that's one thing that never comes out of my mouth. And she's always like, you need to take a day off. But I don't know. That's a really good question. I might have to think on that one.
So I started the podcast because my two kids, Maddox and McKenna, right? Maddox, you know, gravitated more towards sports and things like that. And then McKenna gravitated more towards like the theater, arts, singing, dancing, all the things. So I wanted, when I started it, I wanted them to be exposed to iconic people so they wouldn't worship idols. And especially in our society now, idolistic worship is massive, but before they know who the person is. So they see someone on TV, they see someone on TikTok, they see whatever, and they think, oh man, that's the, as opposed to getting to know iconic people like Josie Biehl. And I want my kids to be inspired by people like you. So what advice do you have for Maddox and McKenna? And if you could use both their names, it would be awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I remember Maddox.
Use both their names too, Josie.
I remember Maddox. I remember him like so distinctly when my parents coached him with his blue eyes, and the kid had so much energy. So like for Maddox, I would say just like never ever let anyone steal your spark. Like I just remember he would always have the biggest smile and like so much energy. And so like just like always continuing to have fun. Like I just say like never considering it anything too seriously, and just never let anyone steal your spark, because it's like it's definitely like really special. And then definitely to McKenna, because my older brother Jack is like the same way, and he was in like musical theater and everything like that. And so I think like for McKenna, just never letting anyone like thinking that, never let anyone let you think that your accomplishments aren't special, because I do think like there is such an emphasis on sports, and you know, everyone needs to be an athlete, or everyone needs to be this, and like people don't understand the like creativity of people that are into things like that, of how special it truly is. And so I think just never letting anyone diminish like what you're doing, I think is so important. And like just understanding like how special you are. And like just to both of them, I think just like just never letting like anyone steal their spark.
So I love doing this here as far as being able to spend time with you, because we'll be able to look back on it in years to come and say, oh, wow, look at this. Not only, you hold yourself incredible. I can't imagine you improving, although I've seen you throughout your whole entire life, and it's a continual improvement. What's some of the shots that we're going to call now? So that way, when we look back at this, that...
Oh gosh, like where I want to be?
Yeah.
Ooh, how far are we talking?
Wherever you want.
Okay, let's say like 4 years from now. So end of college.
Okay.
Hopefully I'm already signed to a pro team. Hopefully San Diego Wave, maybe Angel City, somewhere in California. Would be really cool, but even like any team in general. Hopefully I definitely want to have like something inspire to definitely like a targeted community. I think I want to, kind of figure out like how I want to inspire and like what message I want to send. Because I do think like, I genuinely believe that like everyone has a message, but I think like how you use your voice is so important. So I think I definitely want to like kind of figure out where I want to go with that. And yeah, those are like the main ones.
I think that it's going to be great for you, because you're sitting here, you're having to field questions while I'm asking them, or we're just having the conversation. I'm experiencing it, but you're having to, you're working through those things. But it'll be interesting, because when you go and go back through this, your message is already there. Right. That message is so very clear. Number one, we got to have a focus. Number two, you got to be willing to put in the work. Number three, you got to make sure that when you have things that challenges that you come up against, that you're able to separate yourself from your accomplishments. Yeah. Right. And be a good person and be kind through all of those things. Yeah. And if you want to be elite at what you do, you're going to have to distinguish between the signal and the noise. Yeah. These are all things that you said. It's already there. Like it's amazing to be able to see the story arc and to be able to hear your wisdom at, we're talking, you're 18 years old. You're fresh 18 years old too. You know what I mean? And to be able to see that type of mindset, I just think not only mindset, but also you have the actions to it. Most people, like, if you look at you look at the heart set that you have, established from, I'm giving a lot of credit to your parents, right? Yeah. Which they deserve a ton of credit. But that heart set and that belief system, followed by the mindset that you have, that resilience, but you add something that very few people do, and you add action to it. Yeah. And so with those things, it's amazing to see at 18 years old that you have those things in line. You have alignment with them. Your message is very, very clear. And I think we're all just excited to be able to see the journey and be along on the journey. So
yeah, I appreciate it.
What do you say to your brothers as we go?
Like just in general?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'm definitely like really grateful for like my siblings. Like I think it's really like genuinely that my family has like shaped who I am today. Like I think it's like I said, like you are who you surround yourself with, and like I've been like super, super lucky to like have my family like surrounding me every single day. Like because there are like, no one actually sees what it takes day to day, like other than my brothers. And like sometimes like other, like even in high school, like Matt, like I'm very, very close with Max. Obviously we're only a year apart, and so it kind of makes us really close. But even when we were younger, we were attached at the hip. And sometimes I would be having a bad day or something, and like Max was just there to like make me laugh. And I think like my brother's always just like kind of always treated me normal, which I think is like something that I needed, because there were a lot of people that, you know, didn't have my best interest at heart, or, you know, people that treated you differently because of like who you are. But like my brothers just kind of always were like, oh, like that's my sister. And so I think like being able to like have that, and like it just is like humbling, but also just, you know, that's like, I always want everyone to treat me normal. Like, like obviously you can have people that you look up to, but like I'm also just like a normal kid. So I think like, yeah, just, yeah, they were always like my biggest defenders too. So I think just being able to have that as a support system was definitely special.
Josie, if you're normal, we're all failing. Like, ain't nothing normal about you. Seriously, it's just it's incredible, and I want to encourage you and speak some life into you that you know, if in the event that people haven't treated you normal in your life, it's because, I mean, you're a damn superhero. Like to hear your belief system, to hear your mindset, and to see your actions, that's you're one in a million. And you know, so if people treat you not normal, most of the time it's because their eyes hurt because they're looking directly into the sun. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I just want to encourage you as you go along that way. But it's been an absolute pleasure. We got to have you on more. I'm looking forward to coming up and seeing you play at USC, coming up and seeing some games. And then, you know, it's inevitable with the pro side of it. And then I can't wait for the commentating too. Yes. Because I think that part too, most people don't get themselves ready. Mm-hmm. And this is a thing that I've talked with one of my buddies about is, you know, there's so many, whether it be NBA, MLB, NFL, that don't see the obvious path that could be if they wanted to, but they don't prepare for it. Right. And you're already preparing in that way. And I just think that it's amazing. So yeah,
I appreciate it.
It's incredible. Was that okay?
Yeah.
You all right?
Yeah.
You have a good time?
Yes. Thank you.
There we go. You got it. You're officially off the hot seat.
It's the vibe that raised us, made us, saved us. Love so strong that the hard times praised us. From base life roots to the freeway nights, we turn small rooms into launch pad lights.